Hello everyone and welcome back to the Exsto Athena series. We're on to Group 2 today and we've got some exciting games for you. Multitudes, how are you doing?
Atlas, I am doing fabulous this afternoon and I am so honored to be part of this and to be able to bring some hype and energy and just excitement around this Valorant series for the Exsto Athena series here. Group B we have ahead of ourselves, but boy and boy, I'm vibrating so hard. I'm ready to rock out right now.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some big games ahead of us, but tell me, we've got some news that's just come out today on the Exsto socials. Do you want to talk about that?
We do, and if you just drop by the Twitter or X for Exsto Athena, you'll find a very brand new post that, lo and behold, Logitech has decided to be one of our official sponsors for the Exsto Gaming Athena series, and it is such a momentous occasion for all of us. Logitech themselves from ENZ, they have decided to provide sponsorships for numerous different types of peripherals for the gamers and perhaps for some of the viewers as well. So not a lot of information has been released just yet. I know a lot of people in the background for the tournament organizers, they are hard at their work cooking up something crazy for all y'all. So stay tuned to all the socials. Make sure you follow us on Twitch, on Twitter as well to get more information about our new official sponsor, Logitech ANZ.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a long time coming. We're super excited to have announced that. And yeah, like you said, it's XtoG on Twitter or X for all those announcements. So make sure you're following us over there and follow us here on Twitch as well to make sure that you're all notified once these games come out. But talking about the games, let's go over what went on last week in Group 1. And the first thing we're going to have to do is have a look at the highlights from that second day. Let's have a look. Day 2 of the Exsto Athena series. My name is Atlas. I'm joined by Atro, and we have the final 2 rounds of the group stage on our hands today.
Yeah, the best. They have to hope for the best. If they don't get 1 we'll get more. And it's looking
in the person so far on the duel list. Paranoia as well, absolutely on point with Bellarme with the classic responding. Pasley still driving it forward. Pasley just looking to clean up everything by himself.
Versus 2 now. It's been a little longer placing it next time. And there's actually, no, there is a little bit of space there.
Wait, they're not swinging! They're not swinging! Gonna hold this line up. Get it, the fights are not going their way though. It's gonna be Chisel hunting for the ace!
Oh my! Sorry, Lord, that is incredible by Chisel! Gets the ace!
Over here, Pasley looking just to make the impact happen with the Vandal. So, good for 1 for now, but taking out Skepnoblade is actually a huge pick, because taking out the Omen over there means that there's no smokes for them to use.
What did that
great
paint shot
shells.
do? I don't know how that's happened. I mean, listen, man, I coach cricket. I couldn't tell you how to throw that. That was that was insane.
Welcome back, and as you can tell, it was some banger of a series, some crazy hype moments that we all got to witness with our very own eyes last week. And right at the top of that leaderboard for Group A, we had 6 teams just battling it out non-stop, and Coven was the one that ended up right at the top there with a solid 5-0 lead, 65 points to their name, and they're going to be moving out of Group A into the playoffs, leading the charge there. So, congratulations to them, but we also have the rest of the folks, Shimmy, Rapid, Brat Division GC, Fearless, and Poofy Pandas really trying to keep their name in the game here, and that is Group A in terms of the standings, but that is last week. We have to focus our attention into this week's Group B, which is exactly what you see on the screen here. Why don't you lead us through that?
Yeah, so we've got Group 2 this week. So unfortunately, Papa's Pizzeria have dropped out of the tournament, but what that means is that out of these 5 teams that we have remaining, I believe it's Silly Girls. Is that what their name is? SLG.
The Goobers.
Silly Goobers. Yes, that's right. Silly Goobers, Exto Gaming, GC, NOOB Esports, Zinner and Sirens, and Eternal Valor GC. Those are the teams that are going to be fighting for those last playoff spots. And unfortunately, because of the fact that Papa's Pizzeria dropped out, only one of them isn't going to make it. Obviously, last week, we've had to say goodbye to Fearless and Poofy Pandas. And the other 4 teams are the ones that are going through the playoffs. But yeah, we've got some very tight competition and some big names in the Oceania Game Changers scene here to play this week. So I'm definitely looking forward to it as, hey, let's get into our first game, at least talking about it. The teams that we have ready and waiting is Eternal Valor Esports and NOOB Esports.
That is correct, and we've actually already done those map vetoes. And in this best of 1 series for the round robin group stages, the first map of Group B here between Eternal Valor and NOOB Esports will be none other than the tried, true, and tested Lotus with Eternal Valor on the defense. You know, not surprising that Lotus ended up being the final kind of best of 1 here. As you can imagine, it is kind of a staple for a lot of the teams. I think Ascent's one of them, but now Lotus is really creeping up to be one of the staples as well.
Yeah, as we go into agent select here, just got to quickly do a little checkup on some overlay stuff. But hey, let's talk about what agents you're seeing on the screen.
Okay, I like it. I like it so far. A right reminder, Eternal Valor are on the defense right now, and they've opted for what? Okay, a bit of a mix-up. And I want to really highlight that Teho has been a huge meta mix-up, right? You get with the introduction of Teho taking over some initiators, Yoru is becoming a very strong staple because if you lose flashes on one side, you get a duelist that can play around with space and have flashes of their own. And you see both teams right now opting to lock in that Seo on NOOB Esports, locking the KO. Oh, I am so not KO, Yoru, and I'm excited to see what Seo from NOOB Esports can bring to the table as well. Both of them opting for a double initiator, and a slight difference in the Senti Toadfish opting for the advice. Kenzie, okay, let's see where they sell in. Waylay is in play for this series of Exto Athena. We'll see where they lock in themselves here.
Yeah, definitely some interesting takes that we've seen recently with the Teo coming into the meta, and it's pretty similar. Pretty much the only difference we're seeing actually is the Vise for the KJ. Yes, I believe that's right. And solo Yoru across the board. So we're going to be seeing some Yoru duelist action. I definitely am excited for that as, well, not long till we start the game now. We're just waiting for these players to load in, and then we will be getting straight into things. I'm so excited.
Indeed. I'm still a little conflicted, you know, between the Killjoy and the... Sorry, I'm just finding the right... Okay, the Killjoy and the Vice, because Killjoy is actually quite a good defensive sentinel here on the first half here at Eternal Valor on defense, with the turret as well as the alarm bot, able to provide a lot of coverage and information. But I will say that Vice pairs their utility. The Vice utility pairs very well with Teho, right? So it will be interesting to see how both these teams play their Sentinel on the attack side. And NOOB Esports obviously has the first wave here incoming. 9 seconds before the first round starts, and looks like we're grouped in a 3-1-1 split. Favored towards that C side, and they do want to contest for this rubble, and a fight will come their way as well, to be honest.
Yeah, a lot of early aggression here. Going to be sending out that stealth drone just to see who's on the other side of it. But NOOB Esports, they've been sent packing. They saw that aggression and they're not having any of it. They're going all the way over to the A site.
He's actually very wary about this. Going to back off just a little bit, but the wraparound is already imminent. Toadfish is wary.
Portal closed.
Alright, well, we're going to be seeing a little bit of a flank kill to come through as we look to the site. That spike should be getting planted any second now. Perhaps? No? Okay. Stolas, sub-player actually for NOOB Esports, but they're just going to be pausing for now. They are kind of surrounded here, so this should be rather difficult. This Dariari does get taken down by those salvos. It's all down to Stolas. Solo Teho player making it work with the classic. Would have to pull off a 4-piece here. Down to 10 HP in a 1v1 with Moonlight dodging, weaving, but the kill goes to Moonlight as that was a close one.
It really was, and I like the standoff that happened in that 3v2 situation, right? Like Moonlight, Eternal Valor knew they had the last two remaining players from NOOB Esports wrapped in a tight burrito on A site. And I think NOOB Esports, Stalis in particular, was waiting for that salvo refresh, right? But they didn't want to rush in. They wanted to make sure that the mistake was on the NOOB Esports side and really trying to see if they can get those picks, and eventually went the favor of Eternal Esports. So, first on the board, pistol round going to EVE. Not surprising, that's happened time and time again, and you see EVE doing spectacularly well on their pistol rounds, not just in these series but other tournaments as well. It's no surprise they should be able to get up the anti-eco as well, but the real question is how painful, how financially damaged can NOOB Esports inflict onto Eternal Valor? That's the tap on that B door, just to incite just a little bit of confusion on the defense side here, as the Spike still is trying to figure out where to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be slow always on these eco rounds when you're on an attacker side on Lotus, right? Like, you don't want to be rushing into a bunch of guns that you're not favored against, and immediately we're seeing that, right? Like the Outlaw, one tap onto Insanity, and, you know, there's not a ton that can be done about it. I mean, unless you've got some sort of crazy set play, you're going to be playing things slow, just trying to make sure you can get some picks here and there. Like you said, I mean, it is really a damage game, and as Sayo takes out Kenzie on the side, that's a Spectre that can be picked up. Obviously, got to avoid Waterfall for now, as I believe it's been grabbed up. So that's a weapon that can be used. And hold on a second, NOOB Esports are making something out of this. Sayo has that Spectre, will get taken down by Dariari. And actually, they're not going to be able to get much more damage than just those two.
It was closer. It's closer than I think maybe Eternal Valor would have liked, but in the final moments, just able to collapse on all those positions into a rush on that C side. Being able to bring over 3 rifles is going to be useful. I don't know if the last 2 players, Kenzie and Orthox, from the side of Eternal Valor, are going to be able to buy up, but at least NOOB Esports are, so they're going to be walking into this a little bit loaded. Moonlight still holding on to that Outlaw, but I don't think anyone on the side of NOOB Esports has no one has half shield, so it's going to be still a 2-tap with that Outlaw to do any sort of permanent damage and sending back to the lobby. But yeah, Eternal Valor picking up that anti-eco, just beautifully done. I like the play, you know, from NOOB Esports. Hit C, cause commotion on A, and retake C. Okay, I like it. For now, moving into round number 3, a lot of utility being thrown in the side of Eternal Valor. No exchange from the side of NOOB just yet. They've instead taken claim onto that C mound, where the solo Kenzie has a bunch of utility located around. So we'll see if they get suppressed with this drone coming up front.
Yeah, only a ghost to try and hold this, and position revealed. This should be the C site full, and just a couple of nano swarms there. The only tool available to try and hold them back, but considering that they were suppressed, those aren't going to be used at all, and it looks like we're actually going to see a push through in towards CT, trying to track down these players, get some kills on the board, and really push them back. A bit of a Valorant moment with the amount of Utah we're seeing on the screen. Bolt lines, salvos, and the first kill's actually gone to Healthox. Moonlight getting in as well. This has gone terribly wrong for NOOB Esports. It's all down to 2, and Eternal Valor, even with the lower weaponry, they could easily make something out of this. The flash, the arc rose, it'll push the Insanity back, and it's all down to Toadfish. 1 versus 4. This should be impossible. Yeah, they're only gonna get 1 kill there.
Wow. Okay. I was shook up. I honestly thought it was going to go the way of NOOB Esports, right? They saved a lot of the utility for that push into deep CT spawn or just past C site, right? They wanted to hold that choke space, that L space for their own, but Eternal Valor just playing so well together. A lot of great trades, and that just meant they came out with more bodies on top and able to shut down Toadfish, that final player at the end. Great play, and that's the bonus going for Eternal Valor. And I tell you, there's some great players from the side of NOOB Esports, but after all, this is a team game, and maybe the fight around A Rubble is going to be more important here.
Oh, quick round the back for Insanity! Oh no! you don't see that working all the time, especially with teams getting privy to the teleports coming through. They'll send salvos, they'll send a nade if they're playing Raze, but somehow Insanity just managed to slip on through and grab a quick 2-piece with the Sheriff. Lovely work there. And actually, NOOB Esports might be making a go out of this Thrifty.
Yeah, very well played, and they know they have the site under their control, right? Like the rotates have come in quite strongly. Now Kenzie doubting themselves, gonna go back to that C site, nice and slow, but this means that any site that they rush is gonna be a maximum a single player here, which Toadfish is making the call.
Yeah, it's going to be in towards that B site. Kenzie might get overwhelmed here. 2 players pushing her. Toadfish will grab the kill, and that should be the spike getting planted. That's going to go down. And look, this is a Thrifty round that is so doable here. 2 versus 4. I believe maybe a rifle or 2 picked up as well. Be sending out the clone. Don't think that'll get shot, but still it will draw out the peak from Cat Goggy. Shortfall, and well, now for Eternal Valor Esports, they just have to be aware that this spike, it's planted towards CT. You gotta deal with these players that have pushed up, and well, the map's been flipped. They're fighting from behind. The attackers are on the defender spawn. Moonlight will fall, and it will be a Thrifty round for NOOB Esports.
And I do want to say that like the position of the spike plant was actually beautifully done as well. And with that position, it's actually a little hard to tell where the enemies, or rather the attackers, in this case NOOB Esports, were positioned. And they were right, you know, the Eternal Valor were right to clear B main, right? It's still planted for B main, but that's not where the players were. It was just a little too late. Right at the tail end. Beautifully done for NOOB Esports, considering it was their save round. It was a Thrifty at the very least. First on the board, not a goose egg no longer, so that's always a sigh of relief there as they sent Seo sending out that gate crash, trying to figure out if they can get anyone, but Moonlight has something better to say about that.
Yeah, you lose to the Thrifty, but you bring out the Operator in return. That'll get them the first kill. Bit of a skirmish in B main. Should take Toadfish down, so no luck to play with. And, well, for NOOB Esports, they got to pick up the pace a little bit. No one on the A site to stop them, so they should be getting the spike down. But with that being said, they're going to have to be worried about that flank in the late round, given that Toadfish on that Vise has gone down. As we look to Insanity, such an aggressive controller player teleporting up into heaven, and it will be rewarded with a kill. We'll fall back to the team now, having evened the numbers. Actually, no, still sticking around, still fighting. Rolling Thunder will come out. And directly back in reply as well. It's all down to Kenzie. 1v3. NOOB Esports have done an incredible job here, holding on to the site. It's all down to Kenzie, as we mentioned. And, well, this should be impossible unless she can clear tree. Yeah, one... It's not bad, but that'll be all it is.
Oh yeah, there's the
Got a little dicey, but you know, NOOB Esports managed to push that over the edge, and now Eternal Valor are kind of stuck in the rut. They're like, from a finance point of view, they're like half-half, you know, they can kind of buy, maybe opting for a couple of Vandals here, hero plays at the very least, but hey, let's look at the ultimate economy as well. Kenzie, that Killjoy, one away from the lockdown. Stolas already having the Annihilation online. Seo with their Dimensional Drift as well. So that might be a great opening start to try and just get a lot of information. And you see just a 4-stack, a gamble for Eternal Valor. They think they want to take the fight over in this close hall space, and Toad's ready for the aggress.
Yeah, but look at this. The team is coming to join her. They're looking to fight together. Love to see this. Not having the lurk caught out on their own. We'll reward them with 2 kills, and I mean, that should be the round in wraps. It was already going to be an uphill fight for Eternal Valor, but now seeing those kills come through when they don't have the weaponry as well to back it up, this should be safely in the hands of NOOB Esports unless we see some ridiculous shots come out. So, well, she's just used that Dimensional Drift to make sure things are well and truly in the hands of NOOB Esports.
Yeah, I like the reposition as well onto that stairs. All angles covered, and right now Eternal Valor is going to have to try and figure out if... Oh, I don't think so. Oh, Seo's just got out there in the nick of time.
Oh, I love this. I mean, playing safe. This is what we needed to see. I think maybe that that third round from NOOB Esports where they pushed all the way through, maybe they realized, hey, if we've got numbers, if we've got the site, we don't need to send it through into their spawn, and they're just going to wait for the Eternal Valor Esports players to push into them. And look, it's a flawless round. This is what we should really expect from anti-ecos, but it's nice to see NOOB Esports playing with that discipline.
Yeah, and I also do want to mention that, you know, we're tied up. NOOB Esports, I like the discipline, to be honest. They have 5 people on the team. They could have gone hunting. Seo, you know, the sole duelist on the attacker side could absolutely do what they could and just W their way through, but chose to respect that they had a numbers advantage, right? And they can just hold all these deep cross angles to set up an elaborate kill zone, kill box within that A side, and that's exactly what they did. It's showing a level of discipline from NOOB Esports, and Eternal Valor are sensing that. They're worried. They're calling a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have to wonder for Eve what the adjustment is. Obviously, they had Moonlight on that operator a couple rounds back, and well, it got the first kill, so maybe that's something you think about going back to. But with that being said, like, do you necessarily want the operator to be on the Yoru? Because I feel like one of the strengths of Yoru on this on the defense at least is the quick rotate, but you don't necessarily want to be, you know, leading the charge on a retake when you've gotten up, so we'll have to see if they maybe play around with that. But I mean, hey, what do you think? I mean, do you think they should be going into that operator, or do you think it's more of a just general gameplay aspect that they need to change?
Looks like Moonlight made the decision for us, opting for that half regen shield with operator. I think it's a good call, right? It hasn't sent out the clone just yet. Okay, it has. But that's not exactly where the site is going, and unfortunately that rotate is not going to be coming in to support Kenzie, that sole player here, a single alarm bot, just holding that C choke and seeing if their NOOB Esports can bait out any more information apart from the fact that, okay, the smoke comes out, but right now everything's still at a stalemate. No one's really taken full control of the A main site just yet, and I think Moonlight is going to be a deciding factor in how this round goes, depending on how first contact goes here.
Yeah, but it looks like they're going to be using the stealth drone just to clear this initially, so this is the sort of thing that we like to see. Obviously, we've seen that they've used an operator here on A before, so for NOOB Esports, using this util to clear it is definitely a good idea. However, it doesn't look like it managed to reach that far, but Zensanity on that little pop-up will avoid getting taken down.
That was actually hilarious. Like, I was not expecting that. I was on a Vice getting ready with the flash and everything. Just all of a sudden you see an Omen pop up, but okay, 25 seconds left. Rotates, trying to pull rotates over. Kenzie is not dissuaded.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he tries to anchor the site with her util, or if she's just going to fall back and try and play that lockdown. Looks like she is going to relinquish control on the site. Whether that spike can get down safely, though, that's another question. Definitely plenty of spam available. Salvos, lots of util, as all the players have arrived for EVE. And I think NOOB Esports, they've just run out of time. There's no way.
Play the objective! What's going on? Okay, yes, there's a frag flood at the end. Seo gets a couple of nice clean headshots just to put that, you know, a bit of a saving grace for themselves, but yo, once again, this is you know, you gotta plot the spike. It is attackers versus defense. NOOB Esports dropped the ball on there. That's a bit I'm a little surprised. Normally, Eternal Valor like to play it right to the tail end, but now on the side of NOOB Esports, they've not been able to drop that spike down. And that will cost them a fair bit right there. Eternal Valor feeling it.
I think the spike planter just got taken out at the last second there. And it looked really weird because it's like, it almost looked like NOOB Esports were in like a 4v5. They've got the site and they just decided to save. But no, I think it just took them a little too long. Ooh, okay, another missed op shot. But I mean, yeah, that was definitely about as close as it can get on those late round pushes.
Oh, Insanity's just playing around right now. Like, if that's the second time that the connection onto Seo is true and blue. That's 2 for 2 onto the enemy Yoru, just to be able to take that one duelist out of action. Send him back to the lobby. And does NOOB Esports want to keep pressing, knowing that there's an operator here? Looks like the answer is yes.
Yeah, I mean, they're at numbers of disadvantage. I think maybe they'll be a little bit scared from that last round. They're just going to want to commit here and not let that clock run down too deep. However, like you said, the operator is still ready. Healthox here with plenty of Tehu utility still in the back pocket. Well, it looks like the call may have been just to go on through that little door, come on to the B site, and it seems like a decent call. I mean, you've got 2 players over in heaven, but no paranoia for Irina, and I mean, the spike, it should go down without too much of a problem at all. So now it's up to NOOB Esports to hold on to this post plan as we look to the flank. And, well, Kenzie, she could deal some real damage. But on the other side of things, if Insanity holds this angle and finds her shot. Oh, no! The timing, and as well as Kenzie coming out and managing to find that kill before the Steel Garden comes through. That'll stall this retake for just a second, but Healthox is through. Quick 1-for-1, and Insanity all of a sudden is the only player remaining. It'd have to be a 1 versus 4, blinded up, and Dariari will take it.
Oh, and that was actually very, very expensive for the side of NOOB Esports, and they couldn't even get the point. You know, they used 2 ultimates, I believe, Steel Garden plus Stolas's Armageddon, just to be able to maybe buy more time for their team, but Zensanity just being out-timinged with that smoke throw to B Heaven and just missing the entrance of what I believe was Healthox or Dirari, I forget which one, walking in through to B link, A link basically, and just unfortunate, but these things do happen. You gotta keep your eyes peeled at all times. It's what happens when you leave one of the controllers on the lurk. Unfortunately, that's not a Viper. Okay. Moving into now, 5-3. Eternal Valor pick themselves up, trying to once again peel themselves away from NOOB Esports scoreboard-wise. Tons of ultimates on their arsenal that they can deal with right now. 3-2 splits. Trying to see if they can split right now the map in half. Looks like it might be a B hit as the utility come flying.
Yeah, well, this time Irina had that Paranoia in hand, and actually it's Insanity on a bit of an island right now. Paranoia of her own. Looks like she wants to go fighting. Great blind to come through. Trade is available, but Catgoggy was by Insanity's side, and so the trade will go in favor of NOOB Esports. Although, as I say that, Kenzie just caught Catgoggy getting a little too over-eager, and with Healthox swinging out of heaven there, no smokes available. That will be the spike denied, and with Moonlight going down, suddenly this is looking much, much more in the favor of Eternal Valor Esports. And as you mentioned, ults in the pocket, that lockdown will mean that, well, this is going to be even harder for Sayo. And with this operator, oh, okay, she'll find the shot.
Dang, Moonlight has Seo's number. That's 3 for 3, unfortunately, for Seo, the in-house duelist right there. And I kind of like what NOOB Esports tried to do. You know, you did that 3-2 split across C and B. You tried to bum rush your way in through B, but once again, those choke points are so hard to work your way. Zinsanity and Kaigori actually worked their way all the way up to C Link, right? And got a couple of nice trades, but the rest of the team were a bit too scattered for any future trades to be made effective. And once you lost control of the spike, it was all downhill from there. Moonlight starting off great onto Zinsanity, finally being able to get that pesky Omen out of the way.
Yeah, definitely a player worth talking about. Zinsanity is one of our most aggressive smokes players, and, well, Moonlight's doing a great job at shutting, honestly, everyone down on NOOB Esports. It looks like that operator really was the answer, although, having said that, Stolas has dealt with her and gotten a little extra as well. It's only down to her and Sayo. They should be able to get this spike down. I believe no salvos available for Healthox, but the special delivery could come through any moment now. But as I say, that Sayo will pop the dimensional drift, try and scout out where these retaking players are coming from. As Healthox is just going to sit in terror, I would imagine. I would be if Sayo was coming at me, and a well-placed blind will get the kill. It's all down to Kenzie. 1 versus 2. The C anchor player now stuck in the retake. Oh, she's gotten Sayo, but it will be Stolas with the trade.
I so unfortunate. Halthox basically ate that entire flash with their face. And was blinded beyond eternity. Easy cleanup for the side of Seo. Yes, it got down to a single player, but for the most part, you know, NOOB Sports were able to play that pretty well, considering it was left with a 2v2, trying to break the economy of Eternal Valor right now. Moonlight's gonna be holding on to that hero operator, but we've got a classic and two other sheriffs in the hands of DRRE, Irene, and Kenzie to boot. This will be an interesting as we move into the last couple of rounds here of this first half. Eternal Valor still have a fair number of ultimates online that they could use and abuse, but Moonlight has been deadly with that operator, so might not want to pop that dimensional drift just yet.
Yeah, I mean, you've heard of the Hero Rifle. Have you heard of the Hero Operator? I mean, like, I don't know how this has happened, that they've ended up in a situation where they can afford an op, but everyone else is on sheriffs. I guess this is just their way of ensuring that everyone can have a buy for the last round of the half. But yeah, looks like NOOB Esports are mostly going to be avoiding this and just heading into Kenzie. Unless this is all fake. Ooh, hi Tactibear.
Oh my gosh, this bear is so annoying. This bear and the cat, those two are disgustingly annoying as the exec comes out. Alarm bot has been triggered, so the, you know, the nanostorm has been activated.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be Insanity TPing in. Oh, spam through the smoke. Oh, Kenzie, that is a tragic downfall. You had that little pocket to play in, but she was just out in the open. Is now the Rolling Thunder to start this retake. A bit of an interesting decision given the weapons in hand for Eternal Valor Operator. The only one that could find anything solid. That is the case, but Toadfish round the back should be put in a bow tie on this round. As, yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that usage there.
Yeah, I mean, Hero Operator did get one.
Go on,
but they're at the very least gonna still be able to buy that up. Plus, you know, a slew of Vandals across the board here for a 6v5. Eternal Valor have seen themselves in a 6v5 before. NOOB Sports has everything to prove to maybe try and get themselves up to, you know, a nice clean tie. On the attacking side of Lotus, you do want to get a few more rounds under your belt, unfortunately. So we'll see how you want to play this. Stolas with the Annihilation online as well. Looks like we're going to just be defaulting their way through, and defaulting in response they will.
Yeah, I mean, Toadfish gonna grab that opener, so Moonlight isn't gonna be a problem in this round. I think that might have been the first time that she had to go up against Toadfish with that operator, so who knows, maybe Toadfish is the one that can squash that up. But with that being said, wow. Insanity, okay, just mops up the flank and the A site while it's fallen as well. It's all down to Irina. As what a round from NOOB Esports to really bring us back to 6-6 half. Unless, of course, Irina can do something crazy. Always starts with the first kill, so, you know, in a 1v5, good start, but still a lot of effort still to go as Multitude. Something tells me that this probably isn't going to happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tall order right now. We're just playing with the Fuseo, just having a little bit of damage control, making sure that we don't try and boost our stats right at that tail end of the first half. And the sides are now switched. Okay, that last round, yes, NOOB Esports gonna be able to take that away, but it was a lot of individual plays, a lot of individual prowess that came out in basically a 50-50 1-to-1 duel fights, right? So gotta say, you know, they basically out-aimed their opponent from that regard. Zensanity getting a couple of clean kills, leading the scoreboard 13-11. Gonna buy up that ghost together with Seo on their defensive half, as we see NOOB Esports try to hold back the aggression of Eternal Valor. Spike leading towards that C site where the Vice will be set up with a shear, a flash, and one of those Thorn Gardens. We'll see how that plays out with early aggression onto C Mound. And Eternal Valor trying to take space onto A. Sorry, NOOB Esports trying to take space onto A.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fake though. It's really just the Salvos and Sire. Still a deadly combo in some scenarios, I would imagine, as Sire has actually gone for a full aggression, but unfortunately blinded herself there. That's not the sort of result you want, as, well, now we're seeing some of the benefits of playing Yo against the Vise. That wall got baited out just from that clone as, well, Sayo's going to be the one to pick up the first kill, and, well, that's, okay. Catgo, he was just jumping around, was completely oblivious to the fact that someone could have gotten behind rubble, and maybe an unfortunate timing, maybe a misread, but the A site has fallen, and it's a 4v3 in favor of Eternal Valor. Spike going to get planted, and a lot of ground to cover for NOOB Esports. Looks like they're going to be coming from back towards Rubble, sorry, and one from stairs. Multitude, I don't know how they're going to get back into this. This is difficult.
It's hard. They've wrapped around all corners around. Salvos have come out just to distract, and doors tapped to try and bait out this 1v1. Then Sanity does go down, unfortunately.
Yeah, that one just a little too hard to get back into when you have the entire site falling like that and you have no one coming from heaven. There's just so much to clear. You got Tree to worry about, the back of the A site. It's just a little bit too much. And so, Eternal Valor, they'll pick up the second pistol in this game, and I mean, I think this is something worth talking about, is that if you look at the timeline, it's been a pretty streaky game. Like, we've had the first 3 rounds, one for Eternal Valor in the first half, and then NOOB Esports came back, and then Eternal Valor had a timeout, won 3 rounds again, and then NOOB Esports adjusted. So, I mean, who knows if this will carry on into the second half.
Momentum's a real thing right now, and speaking of momentum, we're just gonna barrel our way down. NOOB Esports looking for a 3-person push into A, into T spawn as well, and no one's on C site. Knock knock, no one's home. Free real estate. The drone's going in to collect the deed.
Yeah, I'm worried about Kenzie here. She's got one. Fortunately, she's just the player with the sheriff, so it's not the end of the world if you lose that. But, well, she was about to get swarmed, so definitely good she got at least one there. You can't complain too much, but with that being said, in a 4 versus 4, we have seen Thrifties. It happened last half. And so, for NOOB Esports, they were the team that actually managed to pull it off, so potentially an opportunity here. Sayo's the one that's picked up the sheriff. Will they clear behind the box? It doesn't look like they have. Dariari has held them off, and Arena and Moonlight will finish the round. So, at the end of the day, not too much damage.
I'll pick them apart.
Well played from the side of Eternal Valor. Very disciplined and just easy, clean round, bringing over 3 rifles out of their anti-eco into the bonus, moving into that round. Round number, can I math? 14. Healthhawk's going to be just holding on to that ghost. NOOB Esports having the meat and potatoes on their plate with Phantoms and Vandals. No one's just close to their ultimate just yet, so it's going to be still a strong basis of gunplay and utility at the moment. It's going to start off strong with some of that Salvos trade just across the board on both sides, claiming space for themselves.
Yeah, once again, that clone to just bait out that sheer wall, but Toadfish, she's adapted. She waited for that clone to come out, and then she placed it, so I love to see it. A bit of adaptation, making sure we're thinking, but a jump peek. Oh, it didn't trigger it! Okay. Well, I mean, Eternal Valor, they're completely aware that this wall exists, and whether they choose to go for a C exec or not is another question. As, well, Insanity's actually managed to find the first kill over towards B. Lurk goes down, and, I mean, do you think Eternal Valor are going to go for this? It looks like maybe they're reconsidering.
They might. I love that high-level play from Vice. Just the wall being put down after the teleport. The clone has been pushed out. Oh, has been spotted. Irina gonna have to duel against Category. Getting out with their lives, fortunately.
Yeah, I mean, NOOB Esports, they've got the lion's share of map control here. They had Rubble early on. They don't need to worry about B because Insanity is locking that down. I don't think she was revealed there, and it looks like the hit is going to be coming in towards this B site, but for NOOB Esports, they're happy to just play the numbers game. They can let any of these sites get taken and just trade on back in for the retake if they want to, as it looks like that's the play. But it looks like they've forgotten about the share. It's all down to Moonlight. They're going to chuck the spike over. They're going to try and block. I don't think they've got enough time. They've lost. Oh no. Eternal Valor. Oh, it's tragedy.
It's a tragedy in the making. I saw the whole thing in slow motion, right? Like, Sale was right outside the shear. We had like, what, 12 seconds left. You either send the person with the spike through the shear and hope they live, being isolated for the rest of the team, or you trip it and pray to the heavens that you make it in time. But salvos were online by that point in time, and I don't even think they got the keybind forward pressed at the 4-second mark. So in either case, that spike would not have come down in time. Eternal Valor, NOOB Sports, both playing my heart, both having the opportunity to lose based on time there. Okay, we reset 8-7 right now. Both teams having good amounts of weaponry and armory, and they're making their way onto A. But first on the board to drop Zen Sanity at the C site.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like this should just be a relatively straight and true A execute. As, well, there is players here to try and fend this off as well as the Vice setup, but with everyone going through tree, definitely an opportunity to avoid this as the Arc Rose will be removed. And actually, not a ton of utility from Vice to try and play with, but with that being said, Toadfish has found the first kill. Kenzie on that flank mops up that lurk, and, well, Kenzie, she's just getting everyone. No stragglers allowed. The defense, I mean, this is kind of over before it's even started, down to a 4v2, unless Sayo and Toadfish can do something crazy here. A lot to try and get through. Sayo has found the first blindside into main, but Moonlight will take them out before anything can come of it. And Toadfish, the player that started on A, will be the last one to go down with the ship. And, well, Eternal Valor, they will keep their lead.
And that's the thing about having a killjoy on the attack side, right? Like, if you're Vice on the attack, you feel obliged to follow your team because you do have that flash, right? And that's useful, regenerative for flash to be able to help your team entry coupled with all the other pieces of utility. Kenzie, Killjoy doesn't have that, so they can go on those lurks, and this proves so useful. Quick kill on C, quick kill on B, and suddenly ties well within your favor, right? So 9-7, Eternal Valor have come up to even 3 points ahead of their opponent, but haven't managed to put anything more than that. Now Sayo responding in kind with this dimensional drift.
Yeah, it looks like she wants to go behind and grab a quick Bucky kill before getting out, but unfortunately couldn't quite find the mark. So this is not a great start here for NOOB Sports. As, well, even a Rolling Thunder to come down.
Wow.
Just to try and recover things, but there wasn't really even anyone close. I mean, this is just disrespect from the side of NOOB Sports. I mean, maybe ill-advised at that, but they have managed to bring it down to a 2v1, and Dariari is low on HP. Fortunately, they will be able to find that spike plant on the C site this time, and, well, it's all down to Toadfish. Dariari would just fall to a single bullet. Creeping on ever closer, spotted now. Arcro's going to come out, that'll get some info, but I don't think anyone would have gotten blinded by that, as actually a team blind for Eternal Valor. That's a bit of a misstep there, but with these players playing next to each other, there should be no chance, and Toadfish will go down.
Toadfish had the right idea, actually trying to clear that hard corner when Insanity had pushed up, but they were just playing with their bodies together, and that was a smart thing from the side of Eternal Valor, just to be able to make sure that they are going to, you know, secure the round there. Okay, double digits for Eternal Valor. They want to be able to close this out quick and not let it drag too long, but NOOB Sports, they still gotta have some steam under their belt at the moment. Moving into this save round though, it's not gonna look good, but if they can get a couple of orbs, they can get some powerful ultimates. In particular, Stolas's one orb, but Zensanity's solo lurk here. Not gonna get the trade, unfortunately.
Yeah, Kenzie once again, the Killjoy. Going from maybe struggling a little bit to anchor the C site to getting these openers on the lurk. It's excellent all around from Eternal Valor. They have just gotten every single kill here. It's all down to Stolas. Sure, I mean, this is an eco round for NOOB Sports, so I mean, you know, Eternal Valor, they rightfully so should have gotten those kills, but still, excellent to see that even against these lower buys. The players on Eve, they're sharp, man. I mean, I'm honestly not too familiar with any of these players, whereas on NOOB Sports, these are some big names that I've, you know, been following in the GC scene and Oceania for quite a while, and Well, Eternal Valor, they're, as far as the aim is concerned, they are absolutely beating them out.
My ultimate is ready.
Yeah, less than a 1v3 situation. Stolas is trying to try and make it work, trying to maybe give them a run for their money, but a lot of angles being covered, and I think they're just playing off each other. Drone comes out, seek information.
Ooh, maybe a
wait for it.
chance. Okay. We got a little close for comfort, and when you consider Hellfox kind of just swung that, I mean, there may have been a chance at that 1v4.
You can't.
I mean,
Yeah. There was a world, but maybe not in this particular multiverse at the moment. Now, NOOB Sports, gonna be able to buy up. I didn't really quite like how they actually approached that last round. They were on a save round, but they opted to kind of stagger themselves. Their body position was not as close. They needed to get trades, and fortunately, those trades weren't there. In any case, they're going to be moving into this with their Armageddon ready. Toadfish one away from the Steel Garden as well. So if they can get a nice clean kill on that C site, could spell disaster for the side of Eternal Valor during the retake. Dimensional Drift to come out early.
yeah, that'll spot out some of this util as well. Don't know if it's been broken. It looks like the Arc Rose is still out on the mini-map. And, well, with that spot until the Killjoy, Moon Knight's just going to fall on back. And, well, it looks like that share has caused a little bit of a problem once again. But with the lockdown in play, no one's really close by to try and stop this plant. And so we will be going into a full 5 versus 5 retake. Armageddon, of course, available for NOOB Esports. That could cause some problems for EVE as it's going to come through. That'll clear around Bent, but they've got to go fast to make sure they can capitalize off the back of it. Sayo around the back. Managed to find one, but Healthox and Dariari on site. They've done a great job. Can they fight off Sayo, though? It looks like maybe not. She's been a little quiet in this game, but, well, NOOB Esports, they've proven that they're here to play, and they'll be bringing it just that little bit closer.
That was beautiful to watch, right? Just a symphonic dance from all 5 players of NOOB Esports. 2 at Waterfall, 2 at B-Link Door, and 1 Sayo flanked from C, just simultaneously collapsing in all his positions, getting all the right trades at all the right times. And yes, there were a couple ultimates wasted in the process, but a clean retake from the side of NOOB Esports, playing at basically masterclass level. Beautifully done from their side. It's not going to be enough just yet to break the economy, but they have, I think, just one more in the tank for them, and they're going to be sending EVE into an eco, and that's what they need to just close the gap ever so closely against that 11-pointer. Okay, first we have basically Salvo's coming out, denying space. That's the utility trade. Kenzie's on the lurk, has been in a while, but they don't note that Insanity is paired up for the first time to get that clean kill.
Yeah, I mean, Kenzie, she's been good for those for quite a few rounds here, so I don't necessarily blame her for going for that. But also, I mean, you bring up the economy and the fact that NOOB Esports have managed to get a kill, the first kill even, with that Bulldog, they should allow Insanity to upgrade up to a rifle. And, well, like you said, this is a big swing round here. If NOOB Esports can convert this, could mean a very, very close match incoming. I mean, it's already very close, but, I mean, still that would be pretty good for them if they can, and it looks like we're going to be looking for a B split perhaps, or maybe just faking the clear of that spot as the spam onto Stolas. Oh, that's heartbreaking, and Toadfish goes down through the box. The A site looks like it has fallen, and for NOOB Esports, we were saying how good it was that they got that first kill, but I mean, those are just unlucky kills to go against you. I mean, one through a smoke. I don't know if Toadfish was seen or not, but through the box, that's rough.
Pretty rough indeed. The flank does come out. Sayo will collect Dirari, and that's going to be evening things out to a 3v3. Dimensional Drift online at the very least, and that will be popped just to get information.
Yeah, Healthox, I think maybe wasn't spotted, although definitely revealed now as Sayo is just pounding up all these players, giving NOOB Esports a way back into this, but the time, it's going, and Healthox sprays them down to get them to 12.
An intense 4K from the side of Healthox. The in-house Teho absolutely flicks a switch and drives home a point. You steal nothing from the side of Eternal Valor. And right now we are at match point. Kenzie playing around with the Barret. Looks like the vibes on the attacking half here are good. And NOOB Esports have everything to prove if they want to clamor themselves back. They're gonna have 3 Stingers and 3 ultimates to their name: a Guardian, a Vandal, half shields, regens, a clamoring of different sorts of arsenal, and they have to play it to their advantage. Insanity pushed all the way up to this one-way smoke, Stinger in hand, trying to get some good kills, but this girl's gonna suss them out. No.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Swords and Sandy though. It looks like maybe they want to be going fully on the aggro here. Paranoia connects with all of them, and it will be NOOB Esports coming on top for that encounter. Although with that door being open, Sayo now is on a little bit of an island, blindside to come through, team blind, but still they've managed to find Irina, and it's all down to Kenzie. NOOB Esports, they are still fighting. They want to bring this to overtime.
Wow, I love that. See, this is the thrifty round that we expect and demand from NOOB Esports, right? You play it together, you push out. Sayo absolutely baiting for Insanity, made the call. You have weak rifles, push, right? The flash came out from category, the flash from I think the Paranoia from Insanity as well, and just the swing from 2 of those players. Beautifully done from the side of NOOB Esports, absolutely demanding that they stay in the game. But it's gonna be by a thread every single time right now. No one but one has full shields, right? And so they have to play every round to perfection, and they're up against 3 ultimates, 2 of which are disastrous for an absolute push into the site. We've got the Rolling Thunder plus the Armageddon, great for basic displacement of all sorts. Things have gone quite a little bit in this 3-2 split, and they're really trying to suss out where this vice might be. Getting that sheer wall is important.
Yeah, first contact will be for Kenzie and Stolas. Just some shots exchanged, a little bit of chip damage, but ultimately not a ton of space gathered by either side. But definitely for NOOB Esports, you gotta be worried about that split back into the B side. Rolling Thunder gonna be sent through, and off the back of it, well, these players are coming on in. Both Kenzie going down, numbers are in favor of NOOB Esports, and I believe that Rolling Thunder has come online for them as well. So that's going to be an excellent tool alongside the Steel Garden. If they can get this Flood retake going quickly, this could spell real disaster. Stolas is going to be the first to sneak on out. Toadfish will grab the first kill, but actually Irina with a classic is going to manage to take down the Tejo of the retake. But NOOB Esports, they do retain an advantage here, 2 versus 1, but with Irina on only 30 HP, Paranoia, they can't see, it's all down to Moonlight, and NOOB Esports now reaching double digits, only 2 rounds away from overtime.
Beautifully done, honestly. NOOB Esports, time and time again, you see their retake onto C is a masterclass. It should be just framed and put on the portraits in the walls of some art gallery somewhere, because the way they come in are beautifully, and that is gonna be, Coach Cornhead seeing that strength that NOOB Esports have, calling a timeout, regrouping with Eternal Valor to see, okay, how can we close this out? We're losing a little steam. We've lost 3 rounds in the last 4. We need to get this one over the edge. But NOOB Esports right now have indeed, I believe, pushed Eternal Valor into a bit of a save round. Maybe pseudo half. Okay, we'll see what they do after this timeout.
Yeah, I mean, another thing worth mentioning is that Eternal Valor, they used the Armageddon to try and stop that Flood retake from coming through, but NOOB Esports, they got ahead of everything. And I mean, like you said, just an excellent retake to be able to stay on top of things. And honestly, when you're up against those big ultimates like the Rolling Thunder, like the Armageddon, you definitely got to be thinking about playing in a more retake heavy style. And NOOB Esports, they pull it off to perfection there. And on the other side of things, I mean, maybe you think, could you have used that Armageddon to try and push a player from CT into the site? I mean, it's worth thinking about for that ultimate. It's kind of a tricky one to use given its somewhat slow movement. But yeah, I mean, that's no longer a tool you're going to have, and something tells me I don't think Hellfox is going to be having another one for the rest of the half, whereas for Stolas, only one off of it. So we might see another one just yet.
Indeed, indeed. And I think also Kenzie has been telegraphed just a little too much as well, you know. Has been caught on the lurk a couple of times. Has been great with it, but I sense that NOOB Sports kind of knows the name of the game when it comes to Kenzie. So a bit of a shift here. Maybe that was the coach speaking. Now teamed up together, and NOOB Sports wants to take the fight on to Eternal Valor.
Yeah, but with Flash or Stun, not too sure for Yari just yet. They might be trying to re-clear back towards rubble, but actually both teams reconsider and they'll just leave this lobby area completely open. A bit of a no man's land. As well, on that C site, it really is just the share and, you know, Vi's util to try and stop it. I mean, it won't really stop much when there's no players behind it, but I mean, for NOOB Esports, if anyone comes back towards A or B, they've got players for days. It looks like that might be a call for Eternal Valor. They've opened the door. They're coming back in towards B. Whether the util can clear these players off these angles, it remains to be seen. No util at all. Just a dry swing, 1 for 1. Make that even more as down to 3 apiece, and NOOB Esports definitely have the tools to try and fight back into this, but Insanity goes down before the Rolling Thunder comes through. Sayo blind through will find a kill, and it's all down to 1. Dariari 1 versus 2. 7 seconds. I think NOOB Esports might be looking to claim this one and bring us that much closer.
Such a close round, to be honest, between the two here. Sayo's gonna be able to shut down DRRE just at the last possible moment as well. And they're 1 away from bringing this to overtime. Beautifully done from NOOB Sports. They figured after the timeout, Eternal Valor aren't probably gonna go to C. They've seen how good our C retakes are. So they basically hard stack A, hard stack B. The sheer, I don't think, was tripped at any point in time. They did play around, with the door taps just to confuse, but with that sheer in place, Toadfish had absolute confidence that it wasn't going to be C just yet. So, great climb back from the side of NOOB Sports. 1 more to push us into overtime on the first map of the first round of Group B here between Eternal Valor and NOOB Sports. Everything is on the line. We're sending the drone down mid to collect information. I think 1 or 2 maybe spotted. That's the counter drone to push folks back. But you see that A, Rubble has been in strong focus for NOOB Sports thus far. Gonna be challenged though.
Yeah, maybe we might see a Dimensional Drift come out to try and clear this, or maybe once again they'll just swing with their bodies. Shoulder spotted, Paranoia sent out, and Sayo will grab the first kills. This is the Sayo that was promised, that was so quiet for that first half, but here on the defense, she has been feasting, and Cat Goggy as well. It's down to a 5 versus 2. It looks like we'll be going for OT for this first game, unless these two players of Eternal Valor have anything to say about it, but they're going to be heading back in towards the C site that still has Vi's util on it, and well, even if they can get through, which they should be able to given that they know that wall exists. There we go, both of them are through. But they've still got those Razor Vines. They don't want to get chipped down to low HP, so they're just going to have to wait for that, and well, that's going to give NOOB Esports time to really coordinate this util and retake as best they can. And for Eternal Valor, what can you do in this sort of situation? You just have to push. Fault line out, won't connect, but they will find the kills. Arena, okay, that's not too bad, but with the Armageddon sent out, that's going to hold back these attackers from trying to get a sight line onto that spike, and Toadfish, I imagine, is just going to stick it through. There's no way. It looks like we're going to overtime.
Wow. Overtime. Here we come. NOOB Sports determines adequately, correctly what the win con there. They know that both players have pushed up. Just lock them up with a beautifully placed Armageddon from the side of Stolas, just to be able to secure themselves a quick and easy defuse. Push us into overtime. Holy moly. Atlas, we have ourselves a banger of a match here. Moonlight opting for that glass cannon. We've seen what they've done in the past.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's really turning down to a battle of roles, right? We've got the Sayos and the Moonlights of the world on the Yoro battling it out, trying to see which duelist will top the scoreboard. And then, of course, you got Toadfish and Kenzie, the Lurk players, and then the supporting cast as well. You can't forget them. But, they're also doing an excellent job to try and keep their teams in this. But definitely highlighting these star players. As honestly, this has really been delivering as far as like these two teams being, you know, some of the teams that I would say are probably favored as far as like favorites for the whole tournament, perhaps. Like, these are some big names coming out of Game Changers Split 1 and just the Game Changers scene in general as we come back to this, where Moonlight, well, we were talking about duelists and lurkers. This time it's going to be Moonlight winning that out with a headshot onto Toadfish. And for NOOB Esports, they're just going to be going on into this A site, Killjoy utility ready and waiting, and also plenty of players nearby on the A and B site. With that being said, that spike should be able to make its way on with not a whole lot of resistance, as it looks like Eternal Valor are just happy to play retake in this numbers advantage scenario. Yes, of course, NOOB Esports have anything to say about it.
Yeah, no one's in the flank, so everyone's kind of grouped up for this strong retake right now. Not waiting for the operator as well. They have what it takes to bring themselves straight into here and start off with Hollow Fox. Drop in Derari, a second one.
Yeah, the stairs fight has gone the way of NOOB Esports. Although with that being said, Kenzie, we've said her name so much. She's bringing this to a winnable position for Eternal Valor. And it's all down to Zensanity. Spike is planted for her. Fake teleport. Trying to bait that she might have gone down to the other side. And Moonlight, I don't think there's any time. I think Zensanity's gone and done it. It'll be NOOB Esports taking the lead, taking match point.
Holy moly. I think this is the first time? Yes, it's the first time that NOOB Esports in this particular map have gotten the lead over their opponents. It's been all tied up 6-6 at the half, but at 13-12, they've managed to cool themselves down and bring themselves back out. You've heard it here first. Pros do indeed fake with a beautiful fake from Moonlight, and that was absolutely called out from Zensanity to be able to clutch themselves up for the team. Now, no operators online on this potentially final map, but the drone is sent out through mid in this 3-2 split across. They want to get peripheral kind of a control Eternal Valor, but NOOB Esports wants to bring the fight over. Kenzie does go down.
What a shot from Zensanity. Teleports out to safety, and well, C site is on lock. Because on the other side of things, we've actually seen a bit of an adjustment here from NOOB Esports, moving the Yoru setup, not the Yoru setup, what am I talking about? The Vice setup over towards A, which the Yoru has dealt with kind of handedly here. But with this rotation back in towards the B site, it's down to NOOB Esports to try and hold on to this. And Eternal Valor, they're crumbling. Stolas grabs that kill. It's down to 5v3, and now with the spike going down, Eternal Valor, they have to try and hold on to this. But with so many players of NOOB Esports coming through, they've got to do something. And a bit of a spam kill. No honest Valorant, but that'll help them. That blindside will leave the diffuser absolutely with no vision. And Irina will pull off a 4K to keep us in this game.
And we are still back at it. OT one more time. Let's run it back. See what more these teams can cook for us in the labs.
Yeah, what even
Holy
happened?
moly, it was a bit of a scrimmage, to be honest, Alice.
Oh, it's just all in the smoke. Wow.
Yeah, it's a real back and forth there. Coach Cornhead seeing what they can maybe do in this overtime timeout to try and support the rest of these team members here. And honestly, all these players are playing at the top of their game, right? 24-14, 24-17 to Moonlight and Arena. And we've got crazy assists across the board as well. I mean, I'll call it as is as well. 24-18, 22-17 to Seo and Stolas. But also, NOOB category, 14 assists to their name. Top of the scoreboard in terms of assists. Just being an absolute nuisance with those flashes and those stuns to support the rest of NOOB Esports right now. Ooh, holy.
Yeah, I mean, this is delivering double OT already, and well, I mean, you can't even put a finger on which team is favored, right? I mean, at this point, NOOB Esports, maybe you'd say, I mean, it was 6-6 at the half, right? I mean, it's as close as it gets, but like,
yeah,
you know, like you said, they took the lead for the first time. Maybe they can do it again, or maybe it will go the way of Eternal Valor this time. We'll just have to wait and see as we enter this round.
I feel like that the way the Euros are being played are going to be instrumental here, right? We see the teleport not being used across site, unfortunately. So no help for Kenzie right now, as the kind of 4 people want to storm this site. There's a lot of utility placed around this, but I think will be cleared by that single aftershock. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's a trade I'll take any day from if I'm NOOB Esports. Aftershock clearing half the KJ setup. And look, KJ has no util now, but she's still got her aim. Kenzie will find the opener, but with that being said, the spike might be getting planted here as well. The Tejo's on the other side of the map. 2 players are still waiting on A. This spike is going to go down with no problems at all, but that means that the Salvos will definitely be a key piece of util for this retake that we will see coming through in just a moment, I would imagine. It's actually NOOB Esports Insanity. She wants to fight on forward. Quick 1-for-1, and surely they decide to fall back and try and play for this post plant together now, as they're actually going to release the Rolling Thunder. Fight on forward, fully stunned. Healthox somehow manages to grab a kill, bringing us down to a 2 versus 2, but that time it's been running. CatGoggy unable to hold on to it. Toadfish spotted. The fuse coming through. It's gonna be... Is it gonna be stuck through? Toadfish! Oh, 0.06 on the clock, as close as it gets.
Match point.
I am speechless. I cannot. Wait, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. That was ridiculously close, to be honest, from both teams. NOOB Esports just managed to clinch themselves up, and it got down to the wire. It took forever, like a day and a half, for Eternal Valor to rotate themselves off A to C, but it came down to the absolute wire. And Toadfish, being a safe pair of hands, right at the last possible 1v2 clutch. We reset. NOOB Esports has the advantage. Zensanity posted up in that beautiful position once more. We'll get the drop, but Kenzie's there to receive Seo with the trade as well. We're still in a 3v4 situation. Advantage to NOOB Esports.
Yeah, they've been in this position before. Last OT, they had the numbers advantage, and it ended up falling to the hands of Irina. But that being said, she's no longer in this round, but still definitely plenty of danger left in a 3 versus 4. And with the A site open, I mean, this could easily go a little south. But I mean, this is such a strange position we're seeing. It looks like Sios may be aware that they could push through. There's first contact, and she's going to jump on backwards, stay out of trouble, keep the numbers in favor of NOOB Esports. As for Eternal Valor, they've gone on their little exploration. They might just fall back to the comfort of the site, try and put their treasure down, mark the X on the map, and, well, for NOOB Esports, they're going to have to try and pillage their way back into this to try and steal away this map. The Eternal Valor, I mean, they had their chance. They had, what, 3 or 4 map points? And, I mean, NOOB Esports, they're looking set to try and have a go at this.
It's gonna be a hard one right now. Waiting for just the utility bombardment to come out. Great aftershock and stun to hold back the advancements, but the wave's coming.
Yeah, it absolutely is, but Eve, they're holding on to this. 3 kills, it's all down to 1. CatGoggy, the supportive utility, has been incredible, but unfortunately she's just surrounded, and we will go again. 14 to 14.
How is that possible? In a blink of an eye, 3 bodies fall, and Eternal Valor managed to steal that one away from underneath NOOB Esports' nose. Straight up, I was flabbergasted. I don't know. I know the youngsters don't use that word much anymore, but I am speechless, Atlas, for this. And we're back to the 3rd overtime between these 2 titans to try and finish it off. Moonlight and Seo leading the scoreboard 26 apiece, might I add, and absolutely ridiculous, and a show of force and a cinema from both sides right now. Okay, so what are we gonna cook up this time? NOOB Esports. It looks like a bit of a stalemate, right? They've tried the rush strat, they've tried the push down B. Right now they're seeing and sussing out to see, okay, will either team actually make their way push their way up front? But Zensanity got a little timing onto that A. We'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, I mean, if they call their team back, it might be into the waiting arms of 3 players for Eternal Valor, but this might also just be a fake. Maybe potential split into that B site. You can see 3 players of NOOB Esports already gathered in B main, and, well, they're right next to the door, so I think we all know what's going to be happening, and as Eternal Valor, they hear that door break, they should know it as well. Site hit coming through here, utility to push back these retaking players to give just that little bit of space for the spike to go down. And once again, it's Kako against Insanity to try and fight forward, but the paranoia from Irina is excellent. The stun as well, just out of bullets. But still, teammates there available to try and trade to bring this back into an advantage for Eternal Valor. Sayo can't quite find the shots, and once again, we look to Toadfish to give us a miracle, to bring us until yet again another advantage for NOOB Esports, but it's not going to happen. She just can't hold on against all the flashes, and Eternal Valor will now claim back their map point.
Fool me once, call me Toadfish. You can't fool me a second time. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. An Eternal Valor now in the advantageous point. It took 3 overtimes to get here. NOOB Esports calling a timeout for themselves. They obviously need to gather themselves, gather their wit, gather their thoughts, try and figure out how they can get back into a 4th overtime. Mind you, this is a best of 1. This is a best of 1, and they're fighting all the way to the end, Atlas.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, best of 1. I mean, I can't imagine how crazy a best of 3 would be between these 2 teams. I mean, you have to imagine that surely these teams should be getting through the playoffs. Obviously, it's still very early days in the group stage, and it's only round 1. Like, this is round 1. These teams still have another, 4 games left to play after this to try and secure this spot, and I mean, it's going to be a bit of a bitter defeat for whoever does end up going down, but we will remember this game, no doubt. And hey, it's now down to NOOB Esports on the back foot. But I do have faith in them here, because I mean, they've ended up in advantageous positions almost every time they've been on this defense here in overtime. It's really just they have to be able to close it out, to play with that confidence that we know they have. So we'll have to see what they can get done here.
Yeah, 100%. Toadfish setting up the shear on that C side, plus all your thorns, right? That is a secure win for themselves. Looks like NOOB Esports are going to be trying to make a bit of a rush play, a push along that A, maybe set up Moonlight on an aggressive stance, try and dissuade any sort of other push. NOOB Esports opting for a very, a utility-heavy start just to be able to get all this space and try and figure it out, because they know their C retake has been solid. They may be banking that Eternal Valor are not going there, but lo and behold, look at that mini-map. Red's across on the left side.
Yeah, it's going to be down to Toadfish to try and hold this one on her own. That sheer going to be baited out by the Yoru once again. So that stealth drone going to be clearing a lot of space, and it should reveal that no one's really on the site. And so for Eternal Valor, they should have their choice of plant spots and post-plant positions, unless of course they get revealed by this flank. Kenzie's holding for it as Sayo will take the kill. He's ready and waiting.
I think that was their win con. If Kenzie stayed alive, they may have a chance, but NOOB Esports, now they have everyone in Eternal Valor wrapped in a cocoon.
Yeah, with this retake coming from both sides, no matter where it's planted, you're going to have to play on site. You can see Healthox falling back to try and play around Mound to try and find where these flankers are coming from, but they're playing so patient. They're just playing to be the backstab. Stolas will take first contact, traded by Sayo, whereas on the site, NOOB Esports efforts, well, they're not going so great. It's all down to 2. Toadfish getting to herself. It's all down to the 1 player in the clutch once again. She's not going to be able to do it. Eternal Valor will take the map.
16-14. It takes a full set of regulation rounds plus 3 overtimes for us to be able to determine the winner of this first round, going to Eternal Valor. It was a real back and forth all the way at the half, 6-6, 12-12 during regulation, and NOOB Esports looked like they were about to push themselves over the edge. but Eternal Valor held themselves steady, safe pair of hands across the board, and just to be able to clutch up when necessary to bring us to a win for EVE. Congratulations.
Man, I can't wipe the smile off my face. It has been a joy to see this caliber of an overtime. I mean, 30 rounds of Valorant for the first match in Group 2. I mean, what more could you ask for? And we still have another 2 maps of Valorant left to play, not to mention, it's going to be NOOB Esports in our next game. Let me have a look at the schedule. Yeah, it's going to be NOOB Esports versus Zinren Sirens up next. So, NOOB Esports, they're going to be hungry to try and take that win back for their next game. So, hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. Go grab some water, grab a quick snack, because we've still got plenty of Valorant left to play, and these teams are clearly delivering. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Exto Athena series. We've just come off the back of an absolute banger series, Multitude. What on earth did we just watch?
Oh, we watched True Blue, Code Red, Valorant Cinema straight off the press, right? 16-14, going to the way of Eternal Valor against NOOB Esports on the Lotus map just before that. And I think on the other alt stream as well, we've got the win from, I believe, Sinrin Sirens over Silly Goobers 13-3. So that puts a couple of these teams into the lead. EV and Sinrin Sirens each leading with 2 wins to their name. And we're on to round number 2 now. You know, that first round took an hour and 5 minutes for us to conclude because these teams really wanted to win. But ultimately, NOOB Esports are going to be walking into round number 2 with a bit of an L, but they are going to have time to recover against Sinrin Sirens.
Yeah, and also, we're going to Lotus, the map that NOOB Esports just played 30 rounds of. So they're going to be feeling comfortable, extremely warmed up. They got to know every angle in the book at this point. So it'll be interesting to see how they do against Sinrin Sirens. It'll be starting on the attack this time. So yeah, honestly, it'll be really interesting to see how this goes. But yeah. Honestly, I think this is going to be an interesting game, right? Because we've obviously seen NOOB Esports just come off the back of an extremely close game against a team that just had an absolute stomp. So definitely going to be interesting to see how these teams stack up against each other as well. In case you didn't tell by that flashbang that just happened on my camera, we're loading into the game. Let's have a look at the agent select.
And here we have Sinrin Sirens on the defense. NOOB Esports once again put on the attacking side for the first half of this game. And just a quick look at NOOB Esports opting for something of a similar composition. I really think they felt like that their meta really works for them. They just maybe need to tune up a few things to pull themselves a bit of a dubs here on that Lotus map. On the side of Sinrin Sirens, Rare Teapot Julia, who on screen looks like Soul Julia, Vichy plus Eloeno. Okay, I believe I've actually cast it for a few of these places, and some of these players are absolutely like ridiculous, like Rare, Eloeno as well, opting for that Sentinel, that lurk play. A bit of a repeat from what we saw, I believe, from the side of Eternal Valor, but instead of the Yoru, we're going Teapot onto that Raze, which has a bit more of a dynamic verticality when it comes to that tech move. And we'll see if we can use that to our advantage. Plus, the nades from that Raze pair very well with Teho.
Yeah, I imagine Toadfish is going to be very happy. No Yoru clones to deal with her share walls anymore. She'll be rather happy about that. And also, by the way, I got some good news. Our overlays decided to work this time.
Hey,
so as we get into the game,
big dubs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big dubs.
Now let's just make sure we've got everything running. I have just realized that my audio is turned off, so we're gonna fix all that up. But looks like we're gonna be heading into this, and I am very, very excited. As yeah, it's I mean, honestly, Sayu versus T is gonna be a massive thing to watch.
And just a heads up that the previous match, Solanas was actually the sub, has been subbed back out for gold, which you'll see right at the bottom of the leaderboard at the moment. Looks like there's gonna be a huge clash here on Z-Mount.
Yeah, absolutely. And Insanity stuck in the open just because of those salvos straight off the bat, but she's actually managed to stay alive. As, well, looking down to the flank, I mean, Eloeno has pushed out of B alongside Vish, and bullets going both ways, and it looks like Insanity's somehow, after all of that, gonna find a response. And for NOOB Esports, they're just gonna make their way in towards the A side.
And then Sirens has taken all of that C-mount space, right? So they know
Time to jump.
Esports, rightfully so, put the pedal to the metal, taking all the A space, and now the flank has come in. Sinrin Sirens are really trying their best to wrap basically NOOB Esports in a nicely tight burrito. NOOB Esports taking the initiative to take that heaven space. They know that a lot of players are on flank. All of the space is free real estate.
Yeah, this is something that NOOB Esports did like to do in their previous game against Eternal Valet. They did like to take a little bit of map control, try and fight their way back into things, and well, that's exactly what they're doing to try and hold on to this post plant. They're playing on the site, thide, they're playing down and dirty, but unfortunately for them, it's all gone wrong. It's all down to Sayo, and if any player could do it, it would be Sayo, and she's not able to. The fuse has gone through under her nose. Oh, tragic.
Okay, pros. I said in the last game, right? Unless pros do fake indeed. Okay, in this case, pros do not fake, right? We just see them hold on to that 4 key and get the defuse off. And might I just add, it was terrifying from one of the views of NOOB Esports to see like a 3-person stack just barrel their way onto the A side. Siren Sirens are playing with like a unified hive mind right now, and I think that sort of play is going to be very deadly against NOOB Esports, especially because, you know, you got 3 sites. It means that at least a single player at any point in time is going to be on their lonesome, and that might be Elowena at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. Looks like NOOB Esports are making their way onto the C site here on their eco with relative ease. So, you know, they'll have at least plant money going through into the next round. And they are once again going for this push, which, I mean, we think back to the last game, didn't always go their way. But, you know, we'll have to see. They're very happy to fight here, and it is just an eco round, so if you gotta send 4 players to fight in CT, why not? But for Rare, it's just a highlight reel. You mentioned them as a player to watch out for. Cracked as ever, 3 kills in this round, and, well, for Zinren Sirens, they make it look easy.
They do. It's like, yeah, second nature to them, right? I like the idea. NOOB Esports, I only had like classics in hand, so you want to be able to play in those tight corners, which is this L elbow where you're seeing on screen right now. It's exactly where you want to be, but the firepower was just a little too much. Bulldogs do some easy hit shots onto weak, squishy players here, so that is going to be Cinnamon Sirens. Unfortunately for the side of NOOB Esports, going to be able to clinch up that that anti-eco. NOOB Esports feeling in the dumps. They haven't won a single pistol or anti-eco for basically the last 6 rounds, and that's just unfortunate. But they're gonna be able to have the chance to fire back. Sayo are really 1 away from that dimensional drift. Could be used if they could pick up this orb. Gonna be covered by the drone at the very least, and that is dimensional drift online and ready to be loaded.
Yeah, I mean, Sayo coming off the back of what was almost a 30-kill game. Imagine she'll be looking to get many more dimensional drifts online for the duration of this group stage and just in this game. As well, things are a little quiet to start things off here. Toadfish back to her lurking ways, but also back to walking into Bulldogs, unfortunately. So, good start for Zinren Sirens. Doesn't look like Vish has gone to pick up that rifle. They're just going to be happy to hold on to the Bulldog. But on the other side of things, it looks like Insanity's calling their team back to A.
Yeah, the IGL of the team's Insanity making the right calls, asking Sayo to maybe make a little space. That's keeping 3 players here on the C side. And I don't even think the drone managed to suss them out, but look at how much space and control NOOB Esports has on the A side. It's going to be up to Zinsanity to get this kill. First on the board. Great job from Zinsanity. Elowena out of back into lobby.
Yeah, I mean, this has been an excellent round from NOOB Esports. Sure, they're meant to win it. This is their anti-bonus round, so you've got better weapons, but this is just, that was a masterclass of calling. An excellent fake by Sayo, holding 3 players and then pushing 1 forward to catch that Killjoy. I mean, this is just excellent, but hold on a second. NOOB Esports, this has come down to a 2 versus 2. Should still be relatively safe, just given the time and the fact that those salvos are coming through. Look, that will be cold. Taking down the diffuser, and, well, Catgoggy will finish things off.
Yeah, that's the thing about, you know, Teho. Like, I know that if you just hop onto Reddit or Twitter, anywhere where people can complain, you'll see that they feel the salvos are just still a little too OP. Expecting that first patch to come out and nerf it a little bit. The only thing they did was allow Killjoy lockdowns to be a bit more viable with a bit of a damage dampening onto those lockdown. But apart from that, those salvos are deadly, and you just gotta get that tap off and hop off. I think Gold held on to that just because, no, sorry, Rare held on to that just because they wanted to get to that half. But it wasn't meant to be. Unfortunately, NOOB Esports will be able to get their first one on the board, rightfully so. The bonus well within their hands. And looking like they want to go on to that C, the tried and true, starting with the dimensional drift to suss things out.
Yeah, and once again, not a whole lot of Killjoy utility around. Looks like the turret was on B, and I don't know if either the Aftershock was used to clear out some of that or what the deal was there. Bit of a team paranoia there, I think, from Zinsanity as they go for this push in towards CT once again. As well, for Zinra and Sirens, they're going to be worried about the flank. They got to be worried about this push forward, and Sayo, well, that's why you got to be worried. She can pop off at a moment's notice. Well, NOOB, it looks like they'll be holding on to this one unless Rare can do something about it. They'd have to get another 3 players, and with Toadfish coming in through Waterfall, it should be unlikely, but with a quick half onto the spike. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Sayo's good for that.
Sayo is good for that. Safe pair of hands. The strategy of them, Sayo and Zinsanity, the dynamic duo, pushing up into CT spawn and just be able to clear out. I saw some crazy movement tech with Teapot flying in and Sayo doing some like 180 look down stuff just to be able to avoid while Zinsanity swings out to collect that trade. Beautifully done from these two sides. And now we're tied up for NOOB Esports. Zinra and Sirens falling back to Sheriffs across the board. Half shields and a couple of regen armors. Julia's 1 away from that Rolling Thunder. Teapot 1 away from that Showstopper. So at the very least, that'll be secured at the end of the round. But a gamble stack from them, trying to see if they can suss things out. Very typical for a Killjoy-laden composition. You leave Killjoy and the turret on C and B, and you hard stack A. Is not too uncommon. And NOOB Esports, they have no clue that they're going to walk into a stacked site.
Yeah, well, what with Rhea showing a shoulder there, Zinsanity is going to have no problem starting things off. Quick paint shell in reply from T, but look, I mean, sure, even if they've got the stack, something tells me it probably will not be going the way of Zinra and Sirens. But with that being said, obviously Sheriffs, if the players are sharp enough, could definitely deal some damage at the right range. Anyone's a one-shot if you shoot them in the head, so, you know.
Wait, what?
Definitely chances. Although, I mean, I don't know if NOOB Esports knows where they're going. It looks like they're going in towards the C site. But Zinra and Sirens, they've got the read. They're going to be right on their way as well. Should be ready for a flood retake, perhaps. Plenty of tools in the backpack of NOOB Esports, though. Whether they want to use their Rolling Thunder here or not is, you know, dubious at best. I don't think they should. Although with Zinsanity going down, maybe you start to reconsider.
Yeah, that was a big one. And now, honestly, Sayo's going to be the saving grace for them if they can get... If Zinra and Sirens can get on site in time, Sayo's going to be the one in the back pocket.
Yeah, they're popping the Showstopper T, and she's found Toadfish, but like you said, Sayo, round the flank, that should be the round secured, and, you know, just to make sure they've invested the Rolling Thunder, and Sayo will pop off on that 3rd kill. I mean, I don't think the Rolling Thunder was necessary after Sayo got that done, but, I mean, they secure the round.
Maybe a little safe than sorry there. Sayo, a huge call out for their kills. 12 to their name, doubling anybody else. The second person basically Rare on the side of Zinra and Sirens. The absolutely dominant KD of 6.0 at the moment. 1 away again from a second dimensional drift just in round number 6.
Now, if we extrapolate that, like, if Sayo is going at this pace and the game goes to 30 rounds again, she'll have something in the round of like 60 kills.
That's ridiculous.
It's an insane start.
ACS of like 4,000, you know, no big deal.
Yeah, just another day at the office for Sayo, honestly. And I mean, NOOB Esports looks like they've warmed up into this. Sayo gonna pop on out, grab a quick one, and I mean, even though it's just a 1-for-1, it doesn't matter. The C site's fallen and, well, oh, that, she used the ult. Oh, that's unlucky.
That's crazy. that the intuition to know that someone might be there and the spam through head pod, just quicker on those headshots right now. 3v3 for the retake, but NOOB Sports does have Armageddon.
T just walked into that aftershock. That was this is a very strange round as far as the utility is concerned. But hey, Armageddon let go by Gold, and I mean honestly that's probably bought enough time in and of itself to really secure this, and with Toadfish coming round the back, no problem at all for NOOB Esports.
Wow. Okay, NOOB Sports, you're right. Absolutely feeling it. You know, like they've clocked 30 rounds. Was it 30? You said when you said 30, like I was dubious. I was like, really? Oh yeah, 16 plus 14, 30 rounds on Lotus. And you're right. They're absolutely fired up. They're feeling it. They're putting Seo in the right spots in the right times. Great lurks, great plays, just to be able to suss things out. And feel like, you know, they're really taking the control and the momentum back from Sinrin Sirens, who are now on a bit of an eco round. Once again, I love the gamble stacks when it comes to ecos, and they're looking like they're maybe holding themselves up in B.
Yeah. I mean, what I was saying earlier with Sayo, she had 12 kills after 5 rounds. So yeah, if you multiply that by 6 to get to 30, yeah, you would you'd get to like what, 60, 70 kills. But with Sai going down there, maybe a little less likely.
Oh. Okay, things are interesting now. 2 shots from 2 sheriffs, 2 kills, Seo and Toadfish out of the way. They're gonna be able to recover, hopefully at least 1. Yeah, that's a Vandal picked up, and Zinsanity has been spotted out as well. So that is this might go the way of Sinrin Sirens.
Yeah, I mean, this is awfully dangerous here. 2 versus 5 with Gold getting that kill. Maybe an avenue to come back in towards the A side is Insanity with this Outlaw. Oh, down to the Classic. Oh, whipping the shots, but still converting it with the Cider. I'm going to reload that Outlaw now, and maybe things have stabilized. But you look at the overlay, and T's picked up a Vandal, and oh, this is still anyone's it's still anyone's game, really.
Yeah, Rare still on the Sheriff. I don't think there was another rifle to be trifled with. NOOB Sports now playing it smart. They're playing together, really pushing around this corner, trying to isolate these fights.
Oh, Insanity playing with the Outlaw.
Ooh.
Some nice shots there outside the Classic. But you know, get your ecos. At the end of the day, it'll be a 4K for Insanity. And well, they're kind of running away with this here. This is what we kind of needed to see from them after that last map. For them to get off to a good start here, I'm sure their mental will be doing pretty well.
Kind of gnarly, to be honest. That was a 2v4 situation, and Insanity with an Outlaw in hand, now upgrading to an Operator off the hands of Seo into the in-house Omen. I like it. To be able to hold those corners, but on the attack side, a very interesting choice to have an Operator. Maybe they're suspecting Sinrin Sirens might push a little bit more than they are right now. The orbs being continually fed towards the Yoru, because once again those dimensional drifts would be able to gather so much space in this 3-site map. Okay, 1 spotted, gonna be able to TP straight out of there and hopefully into the waiting arms of Julia.
Yeah, I mean, this would be the perfect call. I mean, I think Sayo saw T, and knowing that those salvos came out, they've just made the perfect deduction that there's not a whole lot of players on A, and now with that Steel Garden, that's going to push that player all the way off the site, allowing for what should be a relatively easy plant. No salvos in the pockets of Zinrin Sirens, so unless this Flood retake gets started right now, we should be seeing the spike go down, although as I say that, everyone just wants to fight. The spike's gone down. We're in a 2v3, but it doesn't matter. Kakogi and Sayo are still around, still fighting. Bring it to a 2v2. Players low on HP across the board, and now that spike will finally go down. A brief moment of respite. Flashes going back and forth. As now we settle for just a moment. Rare picking up a 3-piece, but a quick trade. And Toadfish is happy to sit on this line. 6-2 for NOOB Esports.
I tell you, Toadfish has been a solid anchor for so many late round clutches, right? We've seen them time and time again against Eternal Valor Esports, now against Cinder and Sirens. That must be, I've lost count, maybe 5 or 6 times when they're left in a 1vx situation, and just a terrific safe pair of hands to push themselves across the finish line right there. Okay, operator out of the hands of Insanity, but shouldn't matter too much because Cinder and Sirens are going to be on a save round. They have a lot of ultimates though for a great retake. Doesn't start off great though with a quick headshot onto Teapot.
I mean, that's just a reaction diff right there. The crosshair placement was on point for T, but unfortunately, it's Insanity just a little quicker there. Looks like Rare. I don't know if she'll either bait this out or... Okay, no, both of them are going to go over it, so you can see the pings
Together.
on the minimap. NOOB Esports are immediately aware of this flank.
Yeah, and this is reminiscent, right? NOOB Esports likes to be able to kind of pinch them both on the flank as well as Waterfall. Now, medicine's back on them.
Yeah, but with how they like to push, they're flanking the flankers, trying to take space back into Waterfall here. Beautiful blind, but an even better shot from Vish. Quick trade by his Insanity, and well, this is still getting awfully close, but still, with that being said, lots of time being brought, and with Gold being the last one alive, those salvos are still online. I think this should still be in a relatively safe pair of hands to send out the special delivery, but hold on a second, I think this might be a thrifty for Zenren Sirens.
I love it. I love it. Rare once again falling to those salvos that the Gold pushes out, but knowing that the death of their body will at least get the spike to half, right? And so there's enough bodies for the side of Cinder and Sirens to be able to just basically hold their horses, swing out, get the final trade on that 3v1. And Gold falls. Point to Cinder and Sirens, a much needed reprieve for themselves in a long streak of wins from NOOB Esports in this 3-6 round diff right now. Okay, moving into this one. They didn't actually use a lot of ultimates, so they're still holding on to that Armageddon, which is really good for one of those retakes. But Gold just looking at Elueno's shoulder right there, not able to get the flick on in a 3-1-1 split right now. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, these ultimates that are online for Zenren Sirens, 2 off the Rolling Thunder, 2 off the Showstopper. This is retake central, if you ask me. I mean, already you have the lockdown and Armageddon. That should be more than enough to win a retake scenario. Of course, plenty of ults on the line for NOOB Esports as well to try and hold on for a post plant. But, you know, whether they use them to try and take a site or if they'll save them for the post plant is another question. And, well, at the moment, I feel like there's not been a whole lot of progress for either side, but with this Dimensional Drift coming out, we might be seeing a nice old fake for NOOB Esports. But Elueno, she's found 2. That's the fake absolutely discovered, spotted out. Sire will go for a 1-for-1. And actually, this fake might not end up being so fake after all. It's Insanity having left herself in draw.
30 seconds left.
They almost dropped the spike to get Insanity to maybe from the shadows and pick it up for a quick delivery on A, but thought against it, right? You have only 2 players left, a solo player on that A site, and you know Rare is just around the corner, so we're opting to maybe pair up together. 14 seconds left.
Yeah, and Armageddon's gonna come out alongside the Paranoia, maybe some salvos to try and stop that plant, but it will go down regardless, and this is the 2v2 that's looking very, very winnable with Gold now back in the game, back on this roster, claiming her original spot on the starting team, as she's now facing herself with a 2v1, but she can't quite get it done.
It got close. 3-2. 3v2, I believe, right at that tail end. And that's Teapot having that signature clutch. Now, Showstopper is online as well. Beautifully done to be able to maybe stack a couple of wins for the side of Cinder and Sirens and get a little confidence boost. You know, get a little ego prop up from themselves. And this is now NOOB Esports. I think Sayo popped the third dimensional drift of the game in round 10. Now moving to round 11, 15 to their name. I mean, they're a force to be reckoned with. But Cinnamon Sirens playing together, and those rare moments where, like, not rare actually, LONO showing their prowess with the step out, a couple of hits right there, beautifully done. Okay, round resets. Everyone's in their stand-up positions right now. One-way smoke to maybe get a couple of chip damage. No one's found though.
Yeah, I think everyone's gotten away relatively scot-free, but as you said, maybe some chip damage, definitely util exchanged. And for NOOB Esports, just keeping things simple here, not going to let the round drag out so long. As, I mean, you know, after that last game, I feel like there was 2 rounds towards C, 1 for each side, where things got a little messy as far as time is concerned. But I don't think they're going to let that happen there, as what a cracking shot from Toadfish. So now the ults are coming out, both Rolling Thunders, a Showstopper as well. I think NOOB Esports probably have come out on top of that. They've got the spike down, and they've definitely taken that Showstopper out as well, with Sayo getting that kill, perhaps from spam, perhaps that smoke went down for a second. So we looked at Insanity again, looking to push forward and possibly even deal with this lockdown. The Armageddon going to be invested just to try and break it. And actually, it's going to find a kill as well. This is excellent ult usage from NOOB Esports. They just wait for the ults to get used by Zinran Sirens, then they use one back in response, and it's perfect. It's a flawless round.
Wow, that was... I was kind of amazed. You're right. The ultimate utility was very well countered, right? You wait, you draw out Julia's Rolling Thunder, you answer with one of your own. Then they put down the lockdown. You answer back with the obvious Armageddon in the top side of A Heaven, where everyone should have been, because that's where the lockdown was, right? And so beautiful trays, and you're right that NOOB Esports came up advantageous with those as well. Cinnamon Sirens lost a little bit of momentum, opting for a response in terms of Arsenal with the Odin online. Never mind Odin out of action.
Yeah, that's a bold choice for a raise, and I mean, also in that whole ult debacle, I mean, there was the Showstopper invested from T as well, so that's not going to be available either. So for NOOB Esports, heading into this final round, you know, I was going to say they've got the only ult in the game with Zinsanity. I stand corrected, Zinsanity's gone, and it's actually Vish who's got the only ult left, and I don't think anyone's going to get any other ones online unless Toadfish picks up a couple kills, maybe a plant, and... Well, with that being said, Plant should be coming down on the C site unless Vish takes a moment to try and swing on out. But that blind hit a square between the forehead, square between the eyes. And, well, this should be safely in NOOB Esports' hands unless Rare can pull off the miracle. What do you think? Doable?
It's a tall order. 1v3 situation against a couple of raid bosses on the side of NOOB Esports, and they're triple stacked. It's like a high-low situation against this very open and ticking bomb.
Yeah, it'll be Cat Goggy to get the kill, and well, with an 8-4 scoreline, I think NOOB Esports will be feeling quite comfortable now that they've played 42 rounds of Lotus.
I love it. Just a rolling counter of how many rounds NOOB Esports has played on Lotus. I love it.
I'm so disappointed. Sayo hasn't.
Triple digits.
Sayo's not hitting her numbers yet. I thought she'd be on at least 30 by now, but no, only 18, which is still very impressive.
Yeah,
but like,
come on, get with it, Sayo. Get with it. You gotta hit 30. Come on, those are rookie numbers. You gotta pump those up.
You can't be letting down my mid-round, like 5-round in calls that you're gonna have 60 by the end of the game. You're letting me down.
I love it. I love it. Okay, on the flip, Cinnamon Sirens on the attack. 4 rounds down, deficit against NOOB Esports. They have everything to prove for themselves, and they're gonna be up against a bum rush right now.
Yeah, big skirmish towards the seaside, and Sayo is leading the charge, getting these kills. Paranoia will force her to get on out of there, but Insanity, with some excellent headshots with the classic, will allow NOOB Esports to be well in control. Oh, actually, they got the round. I didn't hear the voice line. But, well, that's a pistol round for NOOB Esports, the first one they've gotten here all day, so they're going to be feeling good about that.
Very, very good, to be honest, right? Basically, Sinrin Sirens tried to do the same thing to them, but somehow NOOB Sports were able to at least get some excellent trades. You see that once again, the dynamic duo, Seo and Zensanity pushing up on C-Mount. They've made it work, and that was a beautiful pistol round under their belt. They've got an Outlaw and a Guardian, a couple of Guardians and a Bulldog to boot, so should be a quick and easy kind of play. Sinrin Sirens opting not to force from this perspective, hoping for better luck in the future. We'll see how many guns they're able to strip away from NOOB Sports here, who have kind of tripled themselves on C.
Yeah, I mean, Eloino took a duel against Sayo, and at that range with the Guardian, it's you're not favored, that's for sure. And Sayo sticking around, she'll get out alive. Only loses a bit of HP, but that's not too bad. Leaving Cat Goggy to fight here. Maybe you want to wait for your teammates, my friend, and that's exactly what he's going to do. They don't want to drop any guns here. I mean, they're forced quite heavily into this. Not a single player on the team not buying up, so they're definitely going to be looking to make this a flawless one up against Zinran Sirens here.
And I like category, right? Just being able to use their body for information, but backing out at each layer of defense.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, and at that, drawing the players into Zinsanity, that Outlaw, which we saw get quite the clip in the last game with the 4K. She's going to be able to pick up another kill, and I mean, at this point, Zinran Sirens, they're kind of stuck here. They only have, 10 seconds left. They have to go into goal
10
to...
seconds left.
I mean, like you said, it's a bit of a dodge and weave. Get the information with your body and then jump on out of there. And Gold, she's going to mop things up.
Mop things up beautifully indeed. It's bonus. Anti-eco going to the side of NOOB Esports, and we've got ourselves a great match ahead of ourselves. This is Sinrin Sirens' chance to kind of fight back and make sure that they're able to keep themselves ahead of the game, because they're already double digits for NOOB Esports, looking like they want to get Lotus over and done with. This may be one too many rounds for them. Yeah, Sinrin Sirens regen shields across the board, less for 1 on full stack. No ultimates yet really much online. They'll say 2 away from that dimensional drift once again. And not too of a game-changing element here, but will be met with that sheer wall that they'll have to deal with on that C, right?
Yeah. I mean, it looks like NOOB Esports are quite happy to leave the A site completely open. I mean, sure, you're playing a bonus round, so you can, be a little bit more free-flowing and try and throw bodies at the situation, which at the moment would be the correct play as far as getting these players over towards the C site. And Zensanity and Sayo getting some kills. It's down to 3 apiece. Spike might not even be able to get planted with that fault line aftershock combo. Maybe even salvos. Maybe Gold's used those already. I'm not too sure. Oh no, there they go. But a little bit too late. But not too late for Zensanity, having picked off Julia off the back of those salvos, forcing her into the open. And with Teapot so low on HP, great paranoia to come out. Spam through the wall, won't quite connect. Down to a 1 versus 1. Rare gonna have those salvos online, and well, Gold would just go down to a single tick of damage. Swinging out. Rare will collect the kill, so the bonus is denied, but it's an expensive one for Zinran Sirens.
It really is, right? And I mean, I don't mean to nitpick Atlas, but looking at the scoreboard, yes, Rare, very, very safe pair of hands right at that final clutch moment, but really leading the charge here with 15 kills to their name. It's really on the shoulders of the rest of the team to support and play it together. I did recall saying during that first pistol round, Sinrin Sirens, just an absolute hive mind of folks coming in together, and unfortunately I'm not really seeing that too much. A lot of hero plays from Teapot, from Rare in this case, and a change in pace, maybe a timeout might be called right now, but never mind that. They've got their first on the board in the second half. Eloeno gonna be facing off a Bucky. Yeesh.
Yeah, I mean, that's maybe not the weapon you'd expect. If I was to guess, I was probably saving for an operator. But yeah, definitely, if she chooses to swing that, That's maybe not the angle you'd expect to be facing the Yara against. Stealth Drone gonna come out and maybe looking to bait this wall, or actually just send Teapot into the blender. With that being said, Rare and oh my gosh, the util kills! Rare and Julia both getting 1 apiece Aftershock and salvos. That's certainly a way to get a first kill.
That is very surprising. Noted that like the only person on the site was Teapot, so that's kind of strange. But Sinner Science using that to that full advantage, pushing it all the way to CT.
Yeah, well, the Bucky is definitely not the best weapon for this. It's actually gonna be an almost flawless round for Zenra and Sirens. That's exactly what they needed. And I mean, you said some of those players needed to step up, and well, maybe that's not quite what you meant, but I mean, util kills galore.
Caster curse much? Holy. Okay, I should be very careful of what I say on stream. That noted. Atlas noted. They've definitely heard me through the broadcast. I apologize in advance. Sinner and Sirens managed to pull themselves off, to be honest, with a beautiful display of kind of a quick take on to C, plus the 5-person push all the way into deep CT spawn. Good plays around, all around. Now NOOB Sports having to save Sayo back on that Shorty, that Bucky, my apologies, wanting to take the fight, but Rare is gonna be able to shut that down with Teapot.
Yeah, quick trade from Gold, and actually another Aftershock kill. Okay, NOOB Esports, they'll take that. Here on their eco, they can upgrade to some rifles as well, and now that they hear that wall get triggered over towards C, they should know that they are free to go and collect those weapons and actually make a go of this. Of course, you look at Julia, she's got the Rolling Thunder, and Toadfish is still on a Sheriff. Oh no, never mind, she's picked up a Phantom. So I mean, it's definitely still weapons to play with, still could go either way, but definitely going to be in favor of Zenra and Sirens, considering they are have had choice of positions for this post plant, but it looks like LONO is going to get rooted out, but not before taking one down with a Gold. Going to be the one to get the kill, just with the Sheriff now upgraded to a Phantom, but this timer, it's been going. I don't think they're going to have enough time. Tap into the spike. That should draw out the Rolling Thunder. Okay. Big investment straight back onto the spike. Vish running on in, and well, for Zenra and Sirens, it's expensive, but I think they're going to be happy to get the round, yeah, at this point.
Yeah. Julia understanding the win con of just tuck and hide, right? You have the Rolling Thunder, you can play time, you can play objective, and we have seen on broadcast right now that some of these teams don't play objective with timers running out and spikes not being planted. But that is the win con for them. They're going to be able to climb up 3 rounds in a row, the most they've had so far in this Lotus of map round number 2 between NOOB Esports and Zenra and Sirens. NOOB Esports maybe losing a little steam right now. They've gotten a lot under their belts. Now, Zensanity back on that operator. I like it. Sayo having the dimensional drift.
Yeah, I mean, you say back on the op.
Yeah.
Have we seen her op yet today? I feel like we haven't really seen that. I mean,
yeah, once.
Once? Oh, okay, yeah. Sayo's gonna get the opener, and well, once again, NOOB Esports, they're bringing a crazy pace that we definitely didn't see in the last map, as far as how willing they are to push here on the A site. We're going back to see where the spike is just being planted. Showstopper popped by T, and that's going to be walking over into Waterfall, sending it through. Won't quite find the kill. Now with that fault line coming through, it's an opportunity for Toadfish to try and come in. Ultimates being sent to left, right, and center. Insanity and Toadfish will pick up 1 apiece. Vish still around, but Insanity comes out on top, and it's all down to Rare. You mentioned them, the hero player for this team, but nothing against the operator of Zinsanity.
Wow, solid sportsmanship from the side of Zinsanity. Just so quick on those flicks with the operator in hand. It's just absolutely disgusting. Yeah, we've seen them hold that operator once, I believe. Also getting a 2K during that round, but then losing the operator quickly after that. And so it's really showing a show of force here on the defensive half. and opting to hold for that just a little more. Seo back on the dimensional drift, and Teapot having expended that showstopper to get all the space that they could during that waterfall push. But just a retake from Noob Esports from the back, coupled with that fault line, was beautiful. So they really know their lineups. They really know how to exec together, and that's the force that Noob Esports can bring to the table. 11 to their name. Gold, hungry for a bit. The jump spot is going to be punished. Illinois will go down.
Yeah, if you're gold, you'll take that timing any day of the week. Insanity as well. Oh, not quite going to be able to hit that shot, but I think just having that operator is going to make sure that that Vise utility stays online on C, and maybe start to reconsider Sayo. Wow. Oh, the operators just pushed them directly into the crosshair of this Yoro player on NOOB Esports. Bit of a weird geometry moment there with that flash. I don't think that's where Sayo meant for it to go. But undeterred, I'm sure she's going to continue on forward alongside our teammates. They've got the spike, and they're going to do their damn best to hold on to it, I reckon. Fault line going to be avoided, and with Insanity swinging out on this flank, I mean, these two players are fully surrounded in Sayo. It's an easy three-piece for her.
Portal closed.
Too easy, and yes, Sayo gets the 3K, but I want to do a huge shout out to Cat Goggy as well, right? With the follow-up of the initiation of the fault line beautifully, just as the players come out, and then letting Seo swing out 15 assists to Cat Goggy's name, right? And now we're at match point. NOOB Esports aren't letting the last loss get to their heads whatsoever. They want to close this down quick and easy. And they're just letting Simran Sirens walk into the crosshairs. There's no fight from Simran Sirens onto A Rubble, right? So there's free real estate for them. And instead, the attacking team now have their eyes set on B. They have one thorn on the ground they have to deal with, and maybe gold with some of the salvos and the secret package, but we'll see what they can do here.
Yeah, gonna be pushed back for now, and well, I mean, they've managed to get Teapot onto the site, but as you mentioned, those razor vines from the floor, that's gonna very much delay this, and with 4 people getting revealed and suppressed, I mean, NOOB Esports, all they have to do is just pull off this retake in a 5v5, and when it's on the B site, you've got multiple avenues of entry. Toadfish will find the first 2. I mean, Zinrin Sirens, they're kind of surrounded here. This is going to get a little dicey. Rare and Teapot fighting, and Teapot staying alive, running and gunning in the smoke. They've still got a paint shells that they can Hiff at the spike, try and takes Insanity off, and she's only on 2 HP, and with this timer ticking, I think Zinrin Sirens might have just fought and brawled their way into one more chance at this. There goes that pain shells. Is that gonna land? Hold on, no! NOOB Esports! They've done it!
What?
The nade was too late! They take the map! This...
Not like this!
That's heartbreaking for Zinrin Sirens. Just took slightly too long to throw that nade. Oh, that's...
And it bounced off the wall, right, of B main, so I don't know if the little, like bomblets would have reached Zensanity at all in the first place.
But too late!
It did kill her! It did kill... Oh my gosh!
But if she'd thrown
can't believe it.
Yeah, if she'd thrown it deeper, that initial explosion would have killed Zensanity. She was on 2 HP! But she just threw it too shallow. Oh, that's heartbreaking. But I mean...
That is indeed heartbreaking for the side of Zinrin Sirens.
Yeah, for NOOB Esports though, you gotta be feeling good about that. I mean, from 30 rounds down to 20, and Sayo put up the same amount of kills. 28? My prediction maybe wasn't that bad after all. I mean, she started stepping up in that second half. Carried on to 30.
Yeah, but hey... You carry on to 30. You gotta make Alice proud here, all right, NOOB Esports. Just make the caster predictions come true. But yes, kudos to Zinrin Sirens. I think y'all came off the bat swinging. Great first round against what was it? Pug. Sorry, escapes me right now. But Silly Goobers. Thank you so much. But it will be a bit of a defeat here against NOOB Esports. I think looking at the scoreboard, it's got some Rare and Teapot really clutching it up with some great kills, plus great space that Teapot has shown that they can take for their team, but unfortunately just falling short and being able to secure those rounds. So, GG's to Zinrin Sirens from that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, talking about Zinrin Sirens, we're actually going to be seeing them right after this. They're going to be going up against EXG's very own Game Changers team. We're going to be seeing them for the first time on this broadcast here. I'm not entirely sure how they've been doing. I think they may have won their first game and then had a bye or something. But we'll have that update for you very, very soon. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with one final map of Valorant for tonight. Hello everyone and welcome back to day 2 of the Exsto Athena series. My name is Atlas, I'm joined by Atro, and we have the final 2 rounds of the group stage on our hands today.
Yeah, the best. They have to hope for the best. If they don't, they get one HLC. We'll get more. And he's looking.
In the person so far on the duel list, Paranoia as well, absolutely on point with Bellarmé with the classic responding. Pasley still driving it forward. Pasley just looking to clean up everything by himself.
Versus 2 now. It's been a little longer placing it next time, but there's actually there is a little bit of space there. And it's gonna be stuck
they're
all
not
the way.
swinging! They're not
Oh,
swinging!
no!
Gonna hold this line though. Get it all. The fights are not going their way though. It's gonna be chiseled. Hunting for the ace!
Oh my! Sorry, Lord. That is incredible by Chisel. Gets the ace.
Over here, Pasley looking just to make the impact happen with the Vandal. So, good for 1 for now, but taking out Skepnoblade is actually a huge pick, because taking out the Omen over there means that there's no smokes for them to use.
What did that
great
paint shot
paint
go? I don't know how that's happened. I mean, listen, man, I coached cricket. I couldn't tell you how to throw that. That was that was insane.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Exsto Athena series. We've just seen NOOB Esports get their revenge on Lotus and take out Zinrin Sirens. I think it was 12-7 if I remember correctly. 12-7 or 12... Oh, not 12.
13-7.
13-7.
Yeah.
I'm losing it. I've seen too much Lotus. Get me out of here. But hey, Multitudes, we're not going to Lotus this time, so... Thank God, we're seeing something else.
Thank the Valorant heavens. Now we're actually gonna be to well, firstly, the match that we will be spectating and casting for is Zinrin Sirens against Exsto Gaming GC, who Exsto, you know, the GC team here just came out from a win of their own, 13-1 against Silly Goobers. So these are both teams that just came up from solid dubs of their own, coming into a map near you, Split. Oh, Atlas, I am so ready to see some Split action. Just like Omen, you don't know the meaning of Split.
Yeah, absolutely. I am very, very excited to see how things go here on this map. This is, I think, a map where perhaps the meta is a little less defined. Like Split for a long time has been a map where people haven't agreed, do you want to play double controller with a Viper and an Astra or an Omen, or do you want to go double dive? But then now we've got even more questions. Do you want to lean into the more modern way of playing multiple maps of Teho Yoro, which we've seen NOOB Esports investing a lot into? Whereas I think for Zinrin Sirens, judging by the fact that they went Teho Raze on Lotus, I don't think we're going to be seeing any of the Yoro stuff, but I would love to see a resurgence from Teapot as far as that Raze performance. And looking at EXG, I mean, they've got Soko on their team. Soko is such a storied player here in Oceania. If I was to guess, Soko is going to be probably on a Raze or a Jet if they go for a double duelist. So yeah, we will have to see as we're just waiting for the players to ready up, but I think we are almost there. What would you like to see as far as the comps are concerned?
Well, you actually legitimately just stole the words out of my mouth. You're right with the modern day meta. It is the Teho and Yoru combo, but honestly, I'm kind of sick of it. Like I feel like
already
with already, I mean, like I think it's a bit overdone and overbled, and to be fair, it is very valid given that, you know, Teho salvos can clear some of those crazy deep core, like let's say B, right? Your attack on B, and you can basically throw salvos into that deep secret corner, and once that's cleared, you just let the Teho spawn straight into that, and now you have 180 coverage back and forth, right? So it's absolutely ridiculous. That is so powerful. But I you know, something, I'll throw it out there, something a bit non-meta, right? Double Sentinel, right? I think it may be very valid. Maybe very valid, but I mean, we'll see what these players do as we move into Agents like your Exsto Gaming GC on the defense, Zinrin Sirens on the attack, and once again, Zinrin Sirens we just came out of that, going into that double Sentinel Teapot, like you called it, looking like they were feeling very comfortable on the Raze, and Vichy on the I swear I'm a professional caster, the Astra, thank you, the Astra.
Lotus has ruined
Very good
us.
call. Global smokes. I like it.
Okay. I just saw a harbor getting hovered. If we see a harbor in the year of our Lord 2025,
I will freak out. I will freak out.
That would be crazy. I mean, I don't think that's... I mean, she's just going between all the controllers at this point. And it looks like, oh, okay, we might be seeing Sokon and Neon. That's something that I wasn't expecting. I mean, Neon, obviously, she had a reign of terror during the off-season. But now, obviously, still very good. Don't get me wrong. She's still very good. Not as good. But, okay, it's going to be locked in, and we're going to see the Astra. And, of course, Hale, that's the Japanese characters there. She's going to be going on to Breach. And when I think Breach, I think players like Katgogi, like Hale. So I'm honestly very keen to see how this goes. Both teams leaning into this Teho Breach. So it's really just the difference in Duelist and Sentinel. I'd love to see how this chamber pick goes, because it's not something we see very often, but those players that have that aim, Sonza, I can see doing pretty well on this agent. I can see it happening. The cogs are turning in my head. I'd love to see how this goes.
I had a moment of doubt, but then I thought, okay, number one, yes, Sonza on the chamber. Quick heads, great with it. Great with with those pistol rounds. Now, the other thing that to take note, right, about a good Sentinel player playing the chamber is that you really have to take the initiative to push out, right? If you're not pushing out, you're not using your space, you're not using the teleport to the best of your ability, and that's actually a really good map. Like Split's a really good map for that, right? To be able to take like garage control, to be able to take aiming control, where the red dots that you see on screen are falling right now. That is useful if you want to abuse chamber as a sentinel on the defense, right? And so I do want to see Sansa being a little more aggressive with some of those plays, because if you don't, you really use you lose out on a very large kit of utility from that chamber.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of a tech pause here. We're still finding out what it is. We will keep you updated. Definitely, though, still things to talk about, and I'm looking at Sansa. Judging by the fact that she spent 800 credits and only has a classic, either she's gone for a mixture of headhunter bullets and one of the trips, or she's just gone for the 8 headhunter bullets. So we'll have to see how that goes. I mean,
yeah, looks like it's 6 headhunters plus a trip of their own. So gonna be able to maybe get some coverage on some of the maybe mid space as well, while we wait out this tech pause. But yeah, so it's quite interesting so far. I like the choice of Astra having those global, like grav pulls plus some of the stuns, being able to prove useful, because Split itself is a very rotate heavy map, right? It's a very shallow map, which means there's a lot of close contact, but it's wide from that perspective. So it forces a lot more rotates, and having that Astra on both sides will probably allow for better support from your in-house controller.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm definitely curious to see how it goes. I think this is one of those weird stat moments where I forget. I mean, Omen versus Astra has obviously been since the release of both agents, has been debated hotly on this map, and I think now that Astra has those 5 stars back, I think a lot of players are probably leaning into the Astra. Just forget, I think it was this map where historically Astra has actually been the better choice over Omen stats-wise, and, well, looks like we're going to find out which Astra is better as the clock has gone down, this tech pause has been resolved. Feels like it didn't even happen, but we're getting right into things, and as does tend to happen with a lot of these Split defaults, it's pretty quiet to start off with.
It really is. The jump peaks right now from the side of Shay. Just trying to bait it out, but that's Teapot making a lot of space here to be met with a pretty stacked B, though. Hey.
Yeah, that odd body block there results in some utility kills going down, and hold that thought, it's 3 headhunter kills, a nade kill, and I think, what was the last one? A salvo kill, so, what a way to start things off here on Split.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a rush strat from Sinrin Sirens that didn't quite work out, unfortunately. There was just too many people, unfortunately, on the side of Exsto, so they were able to just collapse in those positions. I think they even tried to abuse that smoke play, so gonna be punished for that severely. That's not the way Split is typically played. You want to be able to spread things out, you want to be able to force rotates, but they gambled and it unfortunately didn't quite work out for them. So moving into this next round, that is the teleport that we talked about, taking all that space, trying to get first contact, making a bit of pressure down this mid.
Yeah, I don't even believe they teleported back off of contact. I think it was just that stealth drone that pushed them back, and I don't think they wanted to get caught in the open. So, I mean, honestly, when you're against an eco, I don't blame her. Like, just get out of there. You can take a swing later on with that outlaw. All these players will be pretty easy pickings, one-shots, no doubt. Although, with that being said, the salvos put it on the counter. That's 2 already. Quick trade from Soko, but the outlaw's been dropped. Something you don't want to let get into the wrong hands, and with Julia picking up Shay like that, this is suddenly going terribly wrong for Exsto, bringing it back down to a 2v2, making a 2v1. Tail has so much to do, and why are you pulling your knife out there?
Wow, and just the the absolute collapse on positions from Sinrin Sirens, just playing together to be able to take that single, that basically anti-eco round, just flip it on top of their heads. And Sansa really tried to hold things with the Outlaw there, but was quickly outplayed with some cleverly placed utility. So, and I do want to say, we're going to be moving into a bit of a tech pause for production. We apologize for that, but I mean, looking at the scoreboard, looking at the the arsenal that we have from Exo, just sheriffs and classics across the board for them at the moment, looking like they're gonna have to clamber back just a little bit. Not really what you want to see after coming out from a nice 13-1 win from your previous round number 2 onto this. So we'll see how they want to play their defensive round.
Yeah, definitely. I think Sansa there, maybe a little bit of a misstep. When you're up against an eco and when you're up against this sort of comp where, you've got Pain Shells, Breach, Fault, and Aftershock, and Tejo Salvos, that Vents area can become a bit of a hellscape extremely quickly. And I think she made her way into the left corner, which left pretty open to going down to that barrage of utility there. So I think that's definitely what was the tipping point there. And then after that, I mean, you got to give credit to Zenrin Sirens. Must have just been some nice gunplay all around to be able to capitalize off it. But definitely that's something that Sansa's going to have to play around, is the fact that there's a lot of utility that can push her back extremely fast. And I mean, I guess that's the case with any sort of site anchor. On the flip side, when it goes to Zenrin Sirens on defense, it's going to be a similar case for Eloino on the Cypher. Obviously, you don't have the paint shells for Soko, so yeah, I mean, we got to question that decision. We'll have to see what Soko can do on the Neon that makes them feel like that was a justified pick, because Raze does have that amount, like so much synergy with these agents. But
yeah.
Hey, we'll have to see how it goes. We're getting back into things very soon, I've been told.
Yeah, and once again, thank you everyone for your patience right there as we start the timer ticking. Looks like the tech pause is out of the way, but yeah, so yeah, it's quite interesting the difference between Neon and Teapot right now. Sorry, Soko and Teapot being the Neon and the Raze. I feel like the hardest part for me, whether the efficacy of both duelists, is, hey, how fast can the rest of the teammates follow up with you on that? Now, Soko using the slight advantage, followed up by Sansa taking all this B space. It's exactly what you want to be able to see for the side of EXG.
Yeah, but the first kill doesn't go their way. Not too sure what's happened to our minimap. We're seeing if we can grab that. Oh, I think I know what the bug is. We're gonna have to go with no minimap for now. We'll get that fixed very soon. I mean, Teapot is I mean, XNS, look, they've got the better weapons. They are making this look pretty simple. Kier does get one with the classic, but I mean, I imagine this should be dealt with very soon. Well, I think Shay is probably going to get chased down here. I mean, you don't really want to be saving the sheriff anyway. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if Shay should be looking to die to the spike or something at least here.
Okay, can we get to the... no, it's gonna be... Okay, at least they die to the hands of Julia, which is better late than never, but okay. A bit of a scuffle there. Not able to get more than 3 rifles out of the hands of Sinrin Sirens, but okay. That side, water under the bridge. Moving into round number 4 right now. Once again, we thank everyone for your patience. I know there's a bit of an issue with the mini-map not appearing. I think we're trying to get that back online at the moment, but we will be able to narrate the action as much as possible to you at the moment as we see ourselves in a 4-1 split. Sinrin Sirens heavily stacked in garage with a single Kia to hold this. Will be possibly spotted out by this drone, or at the very least this drone will give them clarity that this site is completely ripe for the taking. Just waiting for the smoke at towers to appear before they storm this site. That's the first on the board for Kia. That's out of the way. Rare's going to be able to take that one out of their hands, but they're going to have to deal with 2 players down this midsection as well. Sansa's on the rotate, going to be able to spot the angle of the hand, but doesn't realize that Teapot is just around the corner as well. Okay, 4v4 retake. Never mind. That's Rare going down as well. The smoke's still out of the way, but peeking on this corner, Sansa's gonna be able to get at least one, backing off from Soko. Now speeding across, Vichy goes down as well. That's the diffuser out of the way. 2v2 situation, just dancing around this pillar. This fault line is beautiful with it. Now Shay left in a 1v1 situation, just holding back the advancement from Teapot. Couldn't do anything better than that. 3 to the name. Teapot will bring themselves to 3-1 lead against Exsto Gaming.
Yeah, hopefully we can, I think we might be going to a tech pause after this. We're just going to get this map issue fixed. So we're just going to throw it to a quick tech pause stream, but we will be right back. Okay, we're back. We've got our minimap back. That's a good old Valorant bug in the books. We honestly have no idea what caused it, but we have fixed it. So,
You know, Riot Games, small indie company, they do what they can. They do what they can, Atlas.
yeah, and I mean, we do what we can as well here on the broadcast. We've got it back, and I think now we can fully focus our eyes on the game where, I mean, Zinrin Sirens, after losing the pistol round, they've taken the eco, and now, well, we're going into a bit of a crazy round. Soko, there's someone behind you. I don't know if they've disconnected. I don't know if they know that we're back in the game, but they've gone unnoticed. They're still there. What is going on? If Hale turns around, no, she's not going to see her.
Rare, I don't know if Rare has DC'd or something like that, but it just has absolutely just walked by them. The flanks has not come in. Sansa has pushed all the way up. Sansa's back. Rare's back in.
She's back. That has to be one of the craziest starts to a round. Ults galore as well. Showstopper gonna be trading blows with the 2 of the Force, and well, it's gone pretty badly for EXG. This was an eco round, and we can have a little bit of a laugh, but for EXG, they've invested the Soko's Soko's ultimate, and if Hale can do some damage here, maybe they'll be feeling okay about this, but definitely a clear your corners moment there. There was a free kill on Dorea that was not collected, unfortunately.
Yeah, and now left in the 1v3 situation, they're gonna be able to pick up that Vandal, but you know, it's on them to try and get some financial damage onto the side of Cinnamon Sirens here. Gonna probably back away, rightfully so. Save that Vandal, save it for a rainy day.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay. Okay.
what do you
not
say to
too,
that?
Not too happy for the side of Exto. I mean, coming out from a tech pause, you know, unfortunately there's funky stuff going on. I think Rare was caught in a bit of a DC situation, but came back at the last possible moment. So if you looked on that mini map, there were flanks on counter flanks. It was just a bit of a chaotic endeavor all around. So I think just to calm everyone's nerves a wee bit, Exo Gaming calling for that timeout. Coach Roman wanting to shed some words of wise wisdom to their players and make sure that they are able to keep their heads screwed on tight. They had a strong showing so far in the series. Did not lost a single map so far, and I don't think they intend to do that any further.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's been so many random things going on. I haven't even gotten a good read on what's going on in the game, but I mean, this is definitely a well-timed timeout, I reckon. I mean, you're looking at the scoreboard on screen, and Sonza's got an operator out, Hale's got the Rolling Thunder, so there's definitely some stuff to play with here, and, well, for Exto, they've definitely got to start getting this ball rolling, just given the fact that Zinrin Siren's economy is kind of getting out of control. I mean, you look at Teapot, 8k credits.
Oof, damn.
It's just dropped
Yeah.
down a little bit. I think she bought a rifle for someone, but I mean, still, the money across the board, they're going to be all good for the next, 3 rounds minimum.
And this will be on Exo's kind of make and break moment. They've invested in the operator. Sans is gonna get a beautiful one. Had the Headhunter out for a second, but decided to teleport out of the way. Smarter action. So that's Teapot's kind of movement tech to try and get themselves onto this B site.
Yeah, Spike gonna go down with no issues as, well, this is quite the lurk we're seeing here from LONO. Straight into the operator, though. That's a second for Sonza, and, well, even though that lurk held quite a fair amount of players over towards the A site in a 5v3 retake, sorry. They should be favored here, and it looks like Zinrin Sirens want to fight out, but they're going straight into the arms of Soko. Unfortunately, it's gone down to rare, but Sonza will be able to be a safe pair of hands with this operator. I mean, it's what Chamber was made for, really, so seeing that come online and getting this amount of value straight off the bat, pretty good for Exto, if I don't say so.
Good recovery right after that timeout. The investment onto the operator, gonna get a hefty, nice 3k for themselves, and save them from financial ruin effectively. They still have the Rolling Thunder, but once again, Zinrin Sirens has that Rolling Thunder of their own for a counter. Plus, they have the Cosmic Divide, and they have the Annihilation as well. They could use basically not opting for anything different, still leaving that Cypher on the lurk side of A, while the rest of these players doing a 2-2 split. Really wanted to suss out Sansa, but Teapot's not able to do anything more apart from satchel straight into that crosshair.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do a little bit more than just send bodies at Sonza. Surely you gotta start thinking about using some util from the back lines to try and clear them. Okay, rare swing sideways out of the smoke, straight into the crosshair of Care, and well, Sonza's on this line now, so this should not be going well for Zinrin Sirens. Yeah, I mean, that's... If I'm a coach there, I'd probably be hitting the pause button after that, because that was a little bit rough with just 3 straight 1v1s, which were very heavily in favor of Exto, that were just kind of given over. And I mean, it happens, right? We can't expect everyone to be playing perfect Valorant, but I mean, given the fact that Zinrin Sirens had such a good start, we know that they can do better than that, and it's also just not how their comp plays. I mean, their comp has got so much utility, they have to be using that to try and overwhelm these defenders rather than just going for these straight body checks. So, I mean, Multitude, we gotta see something
the part
else.
that I was most... The part that was most kind of disappointed, if I can say it so myself, was like just Julia poking out from this angle for that Sansa was watching, just moving out from the smoke, from the Astra, and then Kia, just easy for them to just pick that off. So you can't just body check them like you mentioned, and Sansa being that absolute anchor to be anchoring mid and then hard rotating themselves onto that B just means that EXG can leave more players on A and watch out for the lurks, but they've seen time and time again LONO doing lurky things as they should. So a bit of a reset here that Zinrin Sirens needs to do. They're letting this get away from them a little bit. I don't really like how they're playing. Maybe they just need a bit of a pep talk, like you call it, maybe a timeout. But for now, moving into round number 8, Sansa still with that operator, gonna be able to face Teapot once again in mid.
Yeah, good fault line though. That's what we needed to see. It was awfully close. But I think Teapot may have just snuck through, but unfortunately for Julia, she couldn't quite find that same timing. But with that being said, Teapot snuck through into an excellent position, and I don't think anyone on EXG is really even aware of it. Everyone just kind of scattering for now. The attack likely going to be ending towards A, but that is also where so many players of Exto are waiting and ready. But
Yeah, Teapot
they
needs to get
expect-
one at the very least. If they
Yeah,
don't, it's gonna be
oh
really hard. And
no.
unfortunately, that's it.
Soko just, I mean, I don't know if she was even necessarily looking towards heaven. I think she was just jiggling main, but then she swung a little wider and just saw Teapot up in heaven. I liked the plan. This is definitely falling apart a little bit. Still,
Yeah, now
focusing on the
kind of
positives
the
though.
rotate here. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Positives. Hit me with it.
positives. Yeah, let's be positive for a second. I mean, that stun to start things off was definitely good to get Teapot snuck through there. Maybe just an unfortunate timing and the following up. Okay, Sansa. What a shot. I was about to say, Mish got a nice kill there in mid as well, but I mean, when Sansa's answering with kills like that, I mean, what do you do? And a nice look from Eloino as well. This is not over just yet, but with that kill, that's probably gonna be the full stop on the end of this round.
Yeah, best that Elena is gonna be saving right now with Soko dancing around like it's boogie night, but gonna be able to get away with their rifle at the very least. So, okay, Sinrin Sirens starting off with a bit of a deficit, being able to climb. Sorry, not Sinrin Sirens. EXG starting off with a deficit of 4-1. Gonna be able to climb themselves back up from that beautifully timed timeout. Whatever coach said during timeout, please, I need that on a recording and send to me via Discord, because when I'm done in the dumps, I want to be able to recover quick with a nice 3-round hit, just as EXG are showing us right now. They're feeling good. They're feeling very confident. They're making a lot of great calls to be able to counter some of the rotates that Simon Siren. But more importantly, Sansa being an absolute anchor, an absolute beast of a player right now.
Oh, talk about Sansa. She's just got another kill. I mean, what is this? 3 or 4 rounds in a row? Ever since she got this operator, really, she's gotten that first blood. And, I mean, a good kill to get onto Teapot. That's the tip of the spear gone. But if you're looking at Zinrin Sirens, you've got ultimates. That's what I wanted to talk about. And out they come. Rolling Thunder gonna be sent out in response. And everyone's stunned. Everyone's stuck. Hale's gonna find Eloino. And, well, for Zinrin Sirens, it's kind of stopped in its tracks. Sansa, once again, just instinctively swapping over to that Headhunter over and over again. Rare missed shot from her as, well, it's actually Rare who hit her shot.
I like that.
I didn't even mean to. I just said Rare missed shot. And no, actually, Rare hit her shot. But it's not over yet. 2 versus 3. And Zinrin Sirens want to continue going into this. Are they going to clear this angle, though? I don't think they even got that far. Shay and Kier the ones to grab the kills, and EXG will claim their lead now. As for Zinrin Sirens, look, still definitely hope. I mean, it's still early on. This is a attacker-side split, right? This is a historically defender-sided map where I think, honestly, I still think I kind of prefer Zinrin Siren's comp. I mean, Soko is Soko. She's going to get kills regardless of the agent she's on. I still prefer the Raze, to be honest. So I'm definitely, if they can get 5, maybe even tie things up at 6, I think Zinrin Sirens will be feeling all good as we go into this round. And that was a good chunk of damage dealt by Sansa, only just short of getting a kill.
And these are, beautiful trade from the set of Kia at the very least. Teapot's going to be able to bring that down with those paint shells. But this is the Cosmic Divide coming out, and you see where Teapot is actually holed up just around this corner, trying to see if they can spot anyone pushing in from tower, but no one's really just there yet.
Yeah, we have to look at the ult on EXG now, though. Soko's going to start things off with a quick kill onto Teapot. Now the Armageddon's going to push these players out into the open. Soko going to be wanting to take contact. 1 for 1. As both of these remaining players on Zinrin Sirens are forced into screens,
Wow.
hounded like dogs. And for Exsto, I mean, beautiful combo of the ult. Use that Armageddon just to push them out into the open, and then, I mean, at that point, just use the numbers advantage.
Honestly, I gotta give a little kudos to Soko right now. I think between how the Neon and the Raze are adding value to the team, I feel like the Raze hasn't gotten as much value as a Sashling duelist into spaces that they need to be. I think there was one time, you know, the Soza was stunned out at Mail, so Teapot was able to just walk in through vents. But apart from that, Teapot unfortunately has been dying quite a fair bit, whereas Soko on that Neon on the other side, staying alive just a little long to be a menace during that retake, and I think that's proving to be very useful as a duelist, right? Keep the crosshairs off the rest of your teammates by being an absolute nuisance.
Yeah, and Sansa maybe staying a welcome a little too much. She will go down, and you can immediately see the response on the minimap from EXG, just running their players over towards the B site, looking to give Care some help. She's actually sticking around playing beside the pillar. A beautiful off angle will reward her with the kills, and well, with that, it's all down to Vish. 1v4. Nice shot into Hale, but still a lot of work to do. Plenty of time if you want to wrap around, either go back through B or come through mid. It's just jiggle peeking, so shouldn't be too much of an issue as far as information is concerned. And actually, EXG are playing incredibly passive for this 3 versus 1. I mean, to be fair, when you've got this much time in a clutch situation, you can go anywhere. So I mean, in a way, it's sort of fair enough. But also, you got the spike, EXG. You can just sit on the
30
spike.
seconds left.
Yeah, they've kind of left it out at Garage right now, but doesn't even look like Vichy is making his way there. Maybe some exit kills, but not to be. Unfortunately, this time around, Kia's going to be able to pick up a nice 3K after that first 2 off-angle shots right outside Garage. Beautiful rotation from the in-house Kia, the Astra there, to be able to evade, dodge out, being detected from the incoming drone that Rare sent out. So that's totally unexpected and caught actually Teapot mid-satchel. So beautiful crosshair flick on to that. Now Sansa with the Tour de Force wrapped online of Vandal, mind you, plus 8 headhunter shots. An absolute weaponry of this Frenchman right now. Okay, that is the showstopper out and about to be held back by a Gravwell.
Yeah, but she still has gotten past all right, and that should get the first kill. There we go. That's a rifle that can be picked up as well, but you got to be aware of Sansa. Won't be able to find the shot. Just going to be pushed back by those salvos and Hale. Well, she's going to be making this first kill on the entries. Now the overdrive comes out, but immediately shut down by Rare. Zinrin Sirens really want to hold on to this, and Rare is pushing forward, looking to make something happen. As we settle into this 2v2, it's Vish and Julia down to a 1v1, and Shay's gone and done it. 3 kills. She started that retake, and she will finish it, bringing EXG to an 8-4 lead at the half. But then again, this is split, so this is kind of an expected scoreline, to be honest.
Switching sides.
It is. 8-4 is a little bit on the like uncomfortable side. Like you really gotta be on the edge of your seats here.
For sure.
If it was like a nice like 7-5, I'd definitely be a bit more comfortable. But that's the cards that Zinrin Sirens are dealt with, and they're gonna have to fight their way back. It's not a mountain just yet. Maybe a small hill of sorts. You know, a nice morning brunch walk up a hill. But if they're not quick on that hill, it's gonna really grow a little bit, and things will be starting off on this defensive half for the Zinrin Sirens to claw back. We see both Teapot as well as Rare hopping onto that A site. Maybe starting with some nades to deter action from EXG, but there's a lot of people here. Might be caught off guard. Solo will collect the kill.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good start for Exsto here. It's funny, we got the follow on that nade. It was going quite deep, whereas Exsto were very happy to fight on forward. Nice reply towards mid for Julia. That's going to remove that breach utility from the round. Obviously, both teams playing double initiator, so Shay's still got plenty in the pocket if I was to guess. Also worth mentioning that some of those Exto players are chipped down to quite low HP, and on pistols, you know, you're playing those smaller numbers and that chip damage can really play a big part. As Kea has made her way in through mid, kind of crunching in on Vishy here. But Kea has managed to find, well, actually Vish was managed to find a way out of it. Rare now on the site. Quick 1-for-1, Sansa. Knowing she has plenty of time to get that spike down, and we settle into a 2 versus 2. Soko looking to wrap in towards Heaven, and Vish looking to clear down ramp. So it will really be who sees who first, and Soko wants to get on out of there. So low on HP, would fall to a single shot to any of these guns in play, as there she goes, not before taking LO down to low HP as well, down to 1 bullet from Sansa. This is awfully close, no bullets left in the chamber, it's just a straight 1 versus 1, a wallbang headshot, but I think she's bought enough time. Oh no, what is that?
Did you see their faces?
Oh my
Did
gosh.
you see their faces? Says the chamber voice line. I wish y'all saw my face, cause I was not expecting chamber to teleport all the way up to that little block there, just towering over Vichy, who doing their utmost best to dance in that ballet of death with Sansa, who ultimately came up on top. 19 to their name. Now gonna go with that outlaw. And they've been very deadly with these one-shots. Everyone on the side of Cinnamon Sirens is going to be one-shot to them, having no shields. And Teapot opting to get this Bucky and buy up just to have a little more firepower for their team. And Exo, look at that. Hungry for more. Gonna be able to take all this tower space.
Yeah, maybe this is why we decided to play Neon here. Soko chasing down her prey. Sure, it's up against an eco round, but still, the absolute pace on that hit. Look on the minimap. Look where she is now. She's just walking on into defender spawn. She's going to beat these retakers into heaven. And she should be very aware of it as well. That's the Bucky heard. I think Soko wanted to go, but then hearing that Bucky shot, you don't want to get any closer to that. So they will just play nice and disciplined here. As I say that, Soko doesn't care. She's going on it. She wants 4. She will get it.
Nasty. Nasty work from the Neon, just sliding through mail, getting the drop on the player at tower drop. It's just the value coming out from Soko as the Neon to create space, create confusion, draw crosshairs off that, you know, that crosshair headshot position is crucial from that perspective. Granted, yes, save round, Exo Gaming are going to be able to pick up the anti-eco. Cinnamon Sirens now against a double-digit opponent. It's not looking good for them, but this is the turning point. If they can get, you know, 1, maybe 2 more on the belt, they can start to snowball and get a little bit more momentum.
Ooh. I was about to say another rare miss from Sansa, but again, it's... Instinctively, I say a rare miss, but it's against rare. It's always against rare. These names doing me dirty. But yeah, no harm, no foul. Well, I mean, Sansa went down, so I mean, rough for her. But for Cinder and Sirens, that's what they need. They need a path back into this game, and if they can't win this anti-bonus round, then we might be staring down the barrel of a fairly dominant map here from Exto. But Cinder and Sirens, the weapons that they have are ringing true, which is good to see. Good flashpoint out, and well, a lot of util back in return. Just a 1-for-1. Vish gonna get on out of there. Is Rare gonna pick up where they left off. It's all down to Care at the end of the day, and well, 1 versus 3. Good start, but it will be Zinrin Sirens denying the bonus round, and well, considering they lost the pistol here, this is exactly what we needed to see, and from here on out, we need to see them start putting those numbers up on the board. But when you lose 3 rifles, what's the buy gonna look like? We see the guns coming in. They might just choose to force up.
Yeah, And Vichy on that, Sheriff half shields, not looking great given that they're actually top of the board at the moment. So far, great hold on that B side, and now the cam is going to be placed deep into garage. And we're going to see a barrage of people, barrage of information come through. That's the drone spotting out. It has to be supported quickly by Julia from the heavens.
I don't think that cam got broken, so as long as L1O stays alive, that's a crucial piece of utility that Zinra and Sirens will have in a post-plant scenario, because it does look like that EXG do just want to hit on into this site as Soko immediately grabs the openers. As, well, I was talking about that Cypher camera, it's not around anymore, unfortunately, and, well, what a cleanup from EXG.
Oh, they have so much explosiveness, EXG, and the way they basically come onto site, Soko leading the charge, but the point is that everyone else is able to like kind of hold their own and come together with Soko, right? Like even a couple of rounds ago when Soko was barreling down mid through Mail and dropping down from B Heaven, you could see on the cameras that everyone else was following very closely, just holding all these angles, making sure that their lead duelist doesn't get caught out with their pants down. And if they do, the trade is there as well. So it is a lot sharper that EXG are playing. Their body positioning is on top of it, and Zinra and Sirens need to be able to adapt to that. And hopefully Coach Bully right now in this timeout are speaking to that, maybe throwing more utility up front because of the way Exo Gaming are playing.
Yeah, explosive is definitely the word. I mean, it feels like a lot of these rounds, it's slow, it's, very, very split-esque, walking around the map to start things off, and then in a snap, Exto are on the site and have killed half the players on Zinra and Sirens. Like, it's definitely a lot of chaos, a lot of pace. But I mean, yeah, like you said, hopefully off the back of this timeout, we can see a little bit of an adjustment, but they are also on an eco round, so it's gonna be pretty tough here, because obviously you'd expect Exto to be able to convert this, and then you're staring down the barrel of match point and having to make up 7 rounds to get to OT. It's definitely an uphill fight for Zinra and Sirens.
Yeah, the hill has grown into a big fat mountain, unfortunately, and so they're gonna have to try at the very best, best case scenario, strip as many weapons away. You see they're actually being very bold and push, and a great wall bang from the side of Teapot, and they're gonna be able to pick up at least 1 rifle there.
Yeah, this is what we needed to see. I mean, it's worth mentioning, I think, have Zinra and Siren played all 3 games today? Not actually sure. We've had some odd scheduling issues with Papa's Pizzeria dropping out of the tournament, so I know EXG has had a bye earlier on, and that's just kind of how it's worked out. So definitely potentially running out of steam. I mean, we saw Teapot hit a nice shot, but we're going to need to see a lot more nice shots, and well, we're going to see the Armageddon invested here from Rare. Looks like they really want to give this a go to try and convert this thrifty round. They're going to have to try and get Sansa out of this corner first, though. And with Soko sliding on through, not a chance at all. Looking for more. L1O, the only player remaining, but it's over.
And now we stare at the barrel of, like you called it, match point here as the announcer calls for it as well. Zinra and Sirens looking to mount their way up Mount Everest. It's going to be an extremely tall order to basically clamber themselves back up 7 points. Near mission. If they pull this off, Tom Cruise will be a call-in, because this be mission impossible on day 1 here. Vichy on that regen armor. Everyone else has full shields at the very least, and a Rolling Thunder to boot. So might still be possible if Vichy went away from that ultimate as well. But Sansa ready for the aggression from Teapot. Will be stunned out, but no one's there to capitalize.
That's quite the ballsy play. You get stunned and you go forward. Zinra and Sirens definitely could have gotten the trade onto that if they had decided to, but I mean, in a sense, fair enough. Sansa is being an absolute monster on the server whenever she has an operator in her hands, so fair enough in some sense. Well placed stun, but anyways, looking towards the B site. Soko dancing around in heaven, looking like she wants to get in towards CT, but with the rolling thunder, now Exto have to hold their ground, send one through of their own, and the overdrive's out for Soko. She's looking for blood. And she's gonna be sliding in. Julia, it's all down to you. Missed shot from Sansa, but this might be it. 1 versus 2, and Sansa's the one to finish it. Beautiful shot at that.
It seems so apt for Sansa to
Teleport's ready.
pick up a nice clean 4K just at the tail end to be able to bring their team over the finish line in a very strong, dominant fashion. 13-5 against Sinrin Sirens. Not the crazy scoreline of 13-1, but still very respectable for the side of Exto Gaming to be able to showcase their players and showcase the strats that they've built around this split game. And a huge call out to Sansa nonetheless. Almost 400 ACS, 26-10 to their name. And, Shay is right up with there with 10 assists. So it's not to say that, they're not, it's to say the rest of the team are really trying to support some of these key players, and Soko's right up there as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's everything you want to see if you're the EXG owners. You're running a good, well-running tournament. Your team's doing all right, and well, I'm sure they'll be happy as we are going to be wrapping things up here today, as it's been quite a lot of Valorant. But do you have any closing words now that we're, finishing up here for the day, Multitudes?
No, I'm really excited to see where all the cards fall, and how everything's looking to pair themselves up for moving out of group stage into basically the playoffs and then double eliminations. That's going to be super exciting. So obviously you want to, viewers, stay tuned to the action, join the Discord, follow the Twitch, follow the Twitter, and get all the information up to date, and obviously be in touch with the information about some of the sponsor giveaways that we have from our Logitech ENZ. A huge congratulations once again to Exo Athena series for being able to, work closely with an organization that's wanting to provide support for gamers and supporters all around the OCE scene. So once again, huge shout out to Logitech ANZ for bringing us this sponsorship.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, we've still got plenty to announce, and make sure you get on those socials, XOG on Twitter. That's where we will be announcing everything as, yeah, I mean, we're going to be finishing things up for today. Of course, we will be back here tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure what the schedule looks like, because I think we actually only have 1 round left, so 1 more game tomorrow, and then the group stage is all wrapped up. But we will see you then. I can't wait for it to find out who's going through to the playoffs. But that's all from us. Good night. Thank you for watching.